Oh my god. Yo, um, I ain't gonna hold you. I'm gonna be slightly spicy.
Yeah, I know. I kind of am too, only because I'm annoyed at
Bruh.
certain shit right now. But see, I was telling myself the whole time, I was like, so what's my presentation of this annoyance going to be like? Like,
Right.
do I do my usual wild man from Borneo routine, right? Or do I just, like be that calm sniper? What up, McKenna? Be
What
that
up? What up?
calm
What up? What up?
sniper.
What up? I'm
You know
going
what I'm
full
saying?
hill.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm still, I'm just, I still haven't figured out exactly which way I'm going to go with it. But I got a lot of good shit to talk about, of
Yeah.
course.
Right. Right.
But there's some shit that really annoys me. You know what I'm saying? It really
Mm-hmm.
annoys me. Um, it just do. I got a funny update about the wasp. I'll get into. We gonna get into that.
Oh
Let's get into
god.
that.
Yo.
You know, I
Wow.
was just saying, bro. Like the never ending wasp story. Jaded and Susan. Hey,
Yo.
Susan.
Yo. Yo. What up? What up? What up? What up? It's crazy.
It is crazy. It really is. I probably need to share this link or some shit.
I
That might be
mean,
helpful.
I'd never do. I'm terrible at marketing.
Me
I ain't
too.
even
But
like
I'm
this.
trying to get
Just
better.
not my
You know
thing.
what? This whole comic book thing is gonna help me get better with marketing.
Absolutely.
It is, yo. Because
And when you do that, send some of that my way.
yo, I'm just
Cause
saying, right? Like honestly, there are certain. I feel like when you don't, when I don't market properly, I'm leaving uh money on the table.
no, 1,000%. That
You
is
know
a
what I'm
fact.
saying?
It's just that even though I know that,
You
I
bring
can't do
yourself to
anything
right. No,
about
I
it.
feel you.
Yeah.
I feel you. I feel you. I definitely 100% feel you. You know what I'm saying?
It's like I'm well aware, but I just can't.
I'm aware of the reality of it, but just
Yeah.
I,
Like
gotta do a better
ideally,
job.
I would fix it, but
I think because I got
theoretically, not even
right,
ideally, theoretically, I would fix it. Practically, nah,
exactly.
it's
You
not
know
my
what I
thing.
think too? I think because I got a lot riding on this whole comic book project. It's
Yeah,
forcing me to have to do certain things that I should have been doing all the fucking long. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? That's what it is. Uh, let's- Yes,
That's what it is. And I don't know which one is which, so
Damn.
I'm gonna randomly be pressing buttons until I
You,
figure it out.
you might need some labels on them, my guy.
No, yo, I got annoyed. I got so annoyed. I didn't even because there was still a couple issues. Like it's still not working exactly the way I wanted it to.
Right, right, right.
So, but it's working. So I got random buttons. This is what I got.
What up,
Like
poetry?
I know the first three,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know all of them. Okay. All right.
Yes.
It is what it is.
So
All
hopefully
right.
Eddie will pop in at some point.
Yeah, I'm guessing so. He probably works.
Morning, Ken.
He probably works today. So whenever he
Oh,
gets
so you might.
off,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. That's probably what happened.
yeah. I think he usually gets off around
Jonathan.
12.
Mm-hmm.
Yo.
Something like that. 12, right?
Oh yeah, I think so.
What am I need to see. This is the thing. Yo, it's so many things that are convenient that I don't use like efficiently.
Oh,
Always try to do
exactly.
shit the hard goddamn way, right? I gotta stop that dumbass shit.
Well, I mean, it's a hard habit to break.
It really is. It really, really is. All right, do it like that. There we go. So, had to set my props up time to build my prospect up. So
not until you did.
I mean, I would like to do that, but unfortunately, there's things that will result in a very beneficial outcome if I do that.
On?
What noise?
What you say noise? I said no. That's not what happened.
Crazy. Is this the right way? No. But now it is. Pictures. Yay! What's that shit Kermit used to do? Yeah!
On that note, go ahead and start the goddamn show. That's good.
Clear my throat a little bit because, it's been one of them type weeks. Welcome, everyone. I just started.
Come on,
really
yo.
I just started something really funny, but I will wait until. Yo, I hate when shit pop in my head like that in the middle of doing something else. That was a nice sound effect too, by the way. Welcome everyone to the Black Culture Geeks podcast. This is my man SPJ.
You
and I am Tombstone the Dead Man, and we are just a couple of geeks talking about pop culture from a black perspective. Facts indeed. Now, this has been, a rather interesting week.
Oh, really?
It really has. I had a very interesting last week as well. So we're going to get into all of that. But the thing is, I don't know as far as sequence is concerned. Like, what are we going to do? Are we going to do we should do the, what did you do?
Right.
Doing a week, of course. But for me, it's 2 weeks, kind of, right?
Yeah.
So I guess we could do it's some other things we want to talk about, definitely, that happened. Things happened.
Things happened.
You know what I'm saying? But I think, I don't know. Now, what do you have? Is what you have, does it end on a good note? Does it end on
I ain't even gonna hold you. No, not the end. No, actually, I don't think none of, there's good interwoven.
Right.
But no, it does not begin or end on a particularly good note.
Oh, wow.
None of it. No, it just doesn't.
Damn it.
Does not.
Well, it doesn't matter. I'll start with, how about Brutal Ben? Hey, what's up, Ben? I just popped in to say hi. Can't stay long, but what the fuck is with Tolkien fans? Yeah, I know, Ben. I know. It's kind of something I wanted to talk about, too. It's one of my annoyances.
Sure that's what it is. Not quite sure that all of them are actually Tolkien
No, they couldn't
fans.
be. They couldn't really be Tolkien fans. They couldn't really be Tolkien fans for real.
Right.
And not know certain aspects of the lore. Right. So that goes without saying. It's the usual suspects. It's the same gaggle of geese from everything else. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yo, shoot. Boy, I'm so glad, man.
Thank you.
I'm so glad.
I didn't know what we were going to do.
Yeah, we started the intro, but now that Og was here, like, shit.
Right.
Hilarious. So, I'm going to start. I'm not going to start what people think I'm going to start. Because
why?
Yes. The other thing is small. So, I want to get that out the way, because this is not small.
Okay.
I want to give you guys a bit of a WASP update. Now, as those of you that have listened to this show numerous weeks in a row, you know the ongoing saga of the WASP and myself. There is a new player that has arisen on the scene, and it's really interesting to see this play out. So
the crow came back.
No, I wish, but no.
I know you don't.
Yes, I do, bro. I think they on my side. I really do.
I don't think so.
I think they are. And the reason why is because I underestimated the one side that I'm about to talk about, who I thought wasn't with me, but it's a enemy of my enemy is my ally at the very least, right? So You know, the wasp thing, I hadn't seen them in a while. But guess what? They did come back just for a second. The reason why they only came back for a second is because a new faction has entered the equation with their own agenda, shit that they want, and they seem very determined to have. And that's the squirrels. The rise of the squirrels. The squirrels have been assaulting the one reason why these wasps keep coming around here. That fig tree.
Well, no, actually, there are two reasons now. There was one reason at first.
Right, true. But wasps got their own issues right now because these motherfucking squirrels ain't having it. They want those figs. There ain't a day you could walk out of my back door and look at that tree and not see a squirrel with a fig in his mouth. My wife said she was getting out the car, and one of them was around front with the fig in the mouth, looking for a place to bury it. They on that motherfucker. I've lived here for 3 years. I've never seen those squirrels interested in that fig tree at all. Now all of a sudden they on it. Now, as you know, the wasp they use the figs. It's a mutual symbiotic relationship, right? But that has cut down the number of wasps around here expeditiously. Like, yo, when you see, there used to be like overripe to rotten figs lying on the ground underneath the tree. You do not see that now because these motherfucking squirrels are on them. And back when you would see that, the wasps would be even around the rotted shit. Like this ain't stopping nothing. This ain't stopping nothing, right? Nah, B. So they are. It seems to me they are busy dealing with the squirrel attack to be putting up new wasp nests because there's none around here. And I always look because I don't want to get surprised and then it's already big as a bitch, right? Like, yo, nah, because them squirrels ain't playing. They not playing. Obviously, they give no fucks about any stings these wasps got to give. Because if so, they wouldn't fuck with them. And believe me, when I tell you, I used to sit out in that backyard and the wasps, you could hear them in that tree. And they would not even come over at that time and fuck with us because they was busy with the figs. They ain't care about what the fuck we was up to or what we was doing. But that's not the case anymore. The squirrels have came in and changed the dynamic. There is a regular...
They shook shit up.
There is a regular Game of Thrones event happening around this motherfucker right now as we speak for the prize of those fucking figs. So, what's that? Og says, I had a squirrel living in my grill. The squirrels in Colorado are built different. It bowed upon me like I wanted to fight. But then the wasps came in like cavalry. See, for him, the wasps were the good guys.
I don't think that's the takeaway. I don't think you're taking the right thing away from that story.
No. I absolutely am because see, the way for me, the way I view the ops is who I'm beefing with now.
No, I get that.
I was beefing with them, and the squirrels,
I understand that. But what I'm saying to you is, this means that them squirrels might not be no help. If the wasps decide I'm done with your shit, then them squirrels gonna get ran up out of there.
Yo, them squirrels, I think, like much like August said, the wasps over there, the squirrels over there are just built different. I believe that's true. I think the squirrels over here in Maryland, they just not playing with niggas. Like, I really believe that, yo. Like I told you when I first moved around here, it was 20 of them in the street. I ain't never seen that many squirrels together like in a group. Like I think it's some gang shit happening over here, and I think they on some other shit. I think them squirrels over there, where Og live, on some individualism shit, right? Every squirrel for itself, so they can't really push back an opposing force because they're ass, right? But I think over here, squirrels is different.
Okay.
Different. You know what I'm saying? So I'm happy to report that the amount of wasp around here, they did try to make a comeback. But then the squirrels in the seated. They tried. But yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. They just don't click up. They don't click up in Colorado like they do in Maryland. They just don't. It's a different culture. Different squirrel culture.
All right.
And here's the other thing. We're getting near fall.
Mm-hmm.
So fuck with them wasps thing. You about to go night-night.
Yeah, that's only good for you if they don't have the crow's ears.
Listen, I feel like, for all I know, the crows sent in the squirrels. If they domesticating wolves, I see no problem with them domesticating some acorn-brained squirrel. That's not even going to be an issue for them. You know what I'm saying? Susan says, I see them from time to time here in NYC. Right? Bro, it's just... all I can tell you is I came back and the dynamic shift.
Mm-hmm.
It just shifted. Now,
okay.
To be clear, the balance of power still could not work out for me because with the squirrels feeling emboldened by their obvious wins against the wasp, that could turn on me. But see, here's the other thing. This is the sneaker. This is the very stealthy other factor. The other day, I walked out in the driveway, and there is a family of moles dead in the driveway. There's only one individual responsible for that. That's JB. And JB has never initially been much of a hunter. He's too fat. Oh, I've seen him trying to jump at birds back when we lived in Florida.
Oh, my goodness.
That shit was ugly. Because JB's been going outside more now. He's lost a lot of weight. And as a result, I think he's doing it in the name of T'Challa. Because that was his man's. Now he's going out back slaying motherfuckers. So here's the thing. The way I see it, if the squirrels buck up, JB's still going outside. And they still have memory of what T'Challa was doing to their ranks. JB is decidedly bigger. Just saying. I still have an ace in the hole.
I hear you.
I'm just saying. The other thing, of course.
Unless, plot twist, the crows killed the moles and they're sending a sign.
Yeah, that would be a plot twist. It would be. The reason I think it's JB is because he's been doing exactly what T'Challa used to do.
Right.
Kill him and bring him by the front. Like, excuse me, the back door. Like, here. Albert says the geese aren't false. Yo, that's entirely possible too. You know, we get in their fall, they come, they're starting to start flying through soon. These could be their emissaries before they now Ogden added something new to the equation. I didn't even think about that. I'm telling you, it's Game of Thrones over this bitch. Because the geese about to come through. They about to come through.
All right.
Just saying. And we know how geese get down.
Sure.
I'm just saying. Although I will say I haven't seen them do that to this area anywhere the way they were doing the Addie's area, the way he used to live. I've never seen that around here at all. I just see them flying overhead.
Right.
Just fly over country for a lot of them. You know what I'm saying? I mean, unless you go down to where the water is, you might see a few of them down there, but
sure.
You know. And the other thing, of course, is my week in Atlanta at Dragon Con. Now, full disclosure, I was not entirely on board with doing the the Dragon Con. Initially, I felt like as a company, we only had one book out, and we could have stood another year building out infrastructure to make it the most advantageous, our marketing, all of that stuff, to have better synergy so that when we go down there, we taking full advantage of the experience, right? And I felt like we were jumping the gun because when we decided to do it, it was just a few months ahead of time. Oh, I did, Susan. I did. I'm about to get into it. Let me get my first prop here in place. So, like I was saying, but of course, still super excited to do it once we made that decision to go down there. But hella nervous too, because I had been to other Comic-Cons before, right? But never as someone that owned a business,
right,
and was down there with actual product, and then dealing with the whole selling aspect of it, right? Now, up until the very week that it was time for us to leave, I was still trying to get shit together. You feel me? We was having issues with the card reader stuff. The one that the two that I wanted, we couldn't get. And then we finally used one that my wife had. She had like two of these card readers from Shopify, right? And we used one, switched out the credentials and stuff, connected to our store. Bam, so we got that. The morning I had to leave, I'm running around making sure I had every fucking thing, right? Because in truth, even though I try to be ahead of the game with that shit, I hate that last minute bullshit. I hate it. At the same time, there's always a part of me, because I know I got old man memory. My short-term memory is trash. I said, did I forget anything? Did I fucking forget anything? So, what's up, sis? So, I was reasonably confident. Went to the airport. Went off without a hitch. I get down there. Now, I had never been in that airport before. I had no idea how massive that fucking airport is. I'm of the mind that, because I checked my bag, I'm of the mind that as soon as I get out the gate, whatever, I'm going to walk a few steps, whatever, maybe down the escalator, right, and get my bag from baggage claim. No. It doesn't work that way, sir. This place is too big for all that. But I'm still thinking that because I see the signs and they're pointing, and so I start walking. And I'm walking. I realize I'm walking way too much. You know those moving floor thingies. First I didn't get on that. I'm good. Just right down here. After a while, I started getting on them because I'm still walking. Meanwhile, on the side of me, I see people jumping into the shuttle and going to parts unknown. Now, my experience with that is from Orlando International, right? People get on the shuttles to get to out of the airport, like whatever, not to their bags, right? It wasn't until one of the people that worked at the airport, for some reason, she was asking people as they're going out, Matt, you need that? What? Yeah. Doing a good service, for the people that's there. I said, no, I'm just going to get my bags, but goddamn. She was like, oh, no. You could walk there, but you probably wouldn't want to. You got to jump on this shuttle right here to take you over here. I was like, are you serious? She's like, yeah. So I jumped on the shuttle, and it was actually kind of a lengthy ride too. I was like, yo, I was about to try to walk this. I just lost my goddamn mind. I've lost my goddamn mind.
Your
I
bags
get out
would be
there.
gone, my guy.
Yeah. Yo, facts. So I get there. I get to where I need to go at. I grab my shit, and then I go outside, and our publicist hits me up, asks me which door did I go out of. Told her which door I got out of. She came, she got me, and yo, that airport is a madhouse. A madhouse. Like, it looked like a parking lot. It was ridiculous. And from what I learned when I was down there, that's regular. That's regular for them. So imagine on a weekend where there's this huge event taking place in the city. Actually, it was more than one. They had a couple sports events taking place. The Pride Parade was going on down there. All of this in the same general area. So traffic was crazy. I'm gonna get to it, Graydon. I'm gonna get to it.
What up, Gray?
So I get down there, and Graydon is not supposed to come in until like 1 in the morning. I actually didn't get there till like 2, but I was already unconscious. But about to wake up in another hour because I never seem to be able to sleep past 3 or 3:30, right? But everything was cool, the cool hotel. But then we had this issue with the goddamn reservations for the hotel room. People not doing, what they should do, or was confused about some shit. So we worked through that. Me and the publicist worked through that. Shout out to Mandy for everything she did when we was down there. Like, she made that trip like extremely easier than it would have been without somebody there on the ground, because she lives right down there, right? So we got all that sorted out. Then it was just a bunch of shit. We had another issue later on, but it was with Mandy's room. It was a bunch of bullshit, right? But like I said, we wound up working that out. So we go to the area when Graydon comes in the next day. We go to the area where we're supposed to set up with our table. Bro, this will not do. We were in a room. Don't get me wrong. It was a nice sized room that seated a lot of people. But the problem is, it was inside that room, you don't get the foot traffic. And that's what Graydon and I were really banking on. That we would be in an area. Yeah, we'd be in an area with the other vendors, right? Where people are literally there to purchase, to see new shit, to whatever, right? And we wasn't. And we was like, this ain't gonna do. This is not gonna fucking do. So, to show you how engrossed I got with the story, I didn't even use my my picture aids and shit, right? But so we go in there, like I said, we look and see that there's no way anyone's gonna actually be able to find us. And I tested it, because when they started doing their little events inside that room, they had our table behind almost like a wall, even in the room. So the entrance doorway, when somebody comes in, they wouldn't see us at all. They would walk straight to their seats or whatever. They would see all the stuff in front, but wouldn't see us. So I said, all right, we'll sit for the first hour and see what the hell happens, right? So after that first event was over and people turned to walk out, still, no, they just walk straight. I'm like, nah. I mean, Graydon was like, fuck this. We about to do this old school. And when I say old school, I'm talking the way indie artists used to do that shit back in the day. But they had their cassette tapes in a goddamn school bag. You know what I'm saying? And they walked around selling their shit like that. So that's what we did. And doing it,
popping the trunk
on some MC Hammer shit, right? And hand to hand, exactly, all hand to hand. And doing it that way, we met so many more people. We got so many more books in people's hands, and pretty much, everybody that saw the book, the art, they was blown away by it. Mind you, this is before our presentation. This is like a day before our presentation, I believe. But we were already out there selling books. I literally had the card reader in hand, swipe, and then we would split up. Graydon had books in his bag. I had books in my bag. Graydon out there getting it in. I'm getting it in. We putting business cards in. People saying, we met so many people down there. So many people that are definitely going to be useful for us moving forward with this business in a lot of different ways, that it definitely, for whatever the expense was the company had to foot for this trip, it was worth it. It was definitely worth it. So I want to go into about the amount of people that's down here. I did not know that
I
Dragon
never
Con was that big.
knew.
I never knew that Dragon Con was this big, but apparently it is the biggest one. At the very least, I'm gonna say on the East Coast, but I'm thinking it might be bigger than San Diego too. I think they get more people down there than in San Diego too.
Are you
So,
sure?
so many people, in fact, that it became what's what I'm
Oh
looking
crap!
for?
I'll be right back.
Yeah, it became a shit show. Right? It became a literal shit show. That on Saturday there was so many people there, packed up in there, that you literally could not walk freely throughout that. Now, mind you, this convention is taking place over 5 hotel rooms. Excuse me, hotels. Period. On various different floors, in various different ballrooms and open spaces. There are vendors. There are all kinds of events taking place, talks, all of that shit. So it's so packed that I remember me and Graydon was trying to make our way to the Marriott because we stayed at the Atlanta Hilton. We tried to make our way to the Marriott to sell some more books, meet some more people, get some more cards out. We were stuck trying to get across the skywalk because all of the hotels are connected by the skywalk. We were literally stuck where we were standing in just crowds of people moving a couple of inches at a time. So many people that the hotel services had to they realized, oh no, we got to get people out there to direct traffic, foot traffic, because it was just a madhouse. Going up escalators, there was a line to get up escalators. There was a line to walk. Just to do anything, there was a goddamn line. It was incredible. I had never seen this amount of people at any convention I ever went to previously. And I've been to at least 3. I've been to the Baltimore Comic-Con 3 times. I've been to Awesome Con in DC. And I went to the one out in Annapolis Comic-Con, which is garbage. Jonathan, let me put that up there. Let's see. Wow, 65,000 people this year, according to my coworker who lives in Atlanta. Did not verify it. Look, bro, it was a mass of humanity in each of the hotels, all throughout. Even walking outside, walking up and down the sidewalk, it was just crazy. And that first day, when Grade and I had to go get up early as shit in the morning to go get our badges, right? And while we was in the line really wasn't super bad for us because we got up early as fuck. And there was a few other people that decided to do the same thing, which is smart. Once again, shout out to our publicist, Mandissa, for even suggesting, y'all need to get up early as fuck. So we got up, got in the line, and as soon as we got in the line, that's when we started seeing more people come. And we had waited out there probably 15, 20 minutes, something like that. And as I started looking behind me, I started seeing more and more people to the point where that line was way down the block and around the corner and probably still growing for all I knew. We met a couple of great people in the line, talked, basically told them about the comic book. One of the guys, Curtis, shout out to Curtis, he was very helpful with a lot of things because he had been going to Dragon Con, he said, for 20 years. And he said that his I think his mom and his grandmother was the first one that took him there when he was a little kid, right? So he knew everything about it. And I think his wife worked on the organizing, the organizational council or whatever that puts that together. So he was really helpful that day. Helped us with our get our badges on, told us little things about how we should navigate throughout the convention while we were there. Overall, he was dope. We've seen him a couple of times. He told people about the comic book. I remember being in the elevator. The elevator, of course, was packed. I'm gonna get into that. I remember getting in the elevator and I didn't see him because he was in the back. Me and Gray was in the elevator. And when we walked in, I heard somebody say, "Oh goodness, here goes those Majestic guys." I turned around and it was him. And we started laughing. He told everybody, "Yeah, I should really buy the book. I should really buy the book." Something else too. So the shirts that we had down there, right now we only have one design shirt that's in the store, and that's the one with the cover art for issue 0. That shirt got us a bunch of sales. I'm talking from people literally walking around, and they would see the shirt and ask about the shirt. Ooh, I like that. Who are these guys? And that was like an intro for us to be able to go in and say who we were, what the book was all about, and get people interested in the comic book. So that worked out really good. And I'm definitely like really hyped up to get new designs, different artwork that we already have, and have that put on a shirt as well. Definitely hyped to do that. Them elevators though. Let's talk about that. So early in the morning, I would say roughly about 7 to 8. It's fine. People haven't just started piling in for their day of convention touring, right? So you can get up and down on them elevators pretty quickly, and those elevators are fast as hell. Definitely. Because it's well over 25 floors in that building. They move you up there quick as hell. But right around, I want to say 3 o'clock in the afternoon, those elevators, it takes so long to get from your floor, whatever room you're in the Hilton, down to the lobby where all the shit is happening and where you can go out to the rest of the convention, that it became a game of tag, because a lot of times the elevator would come up and there'd be so many people there. You wouldn't want to get on there. It's just too packed. You know what I'm saying? And there was times where I've literally sat there for like 10, 15 minutes trying to get the right elevator. And that, hold up, we got to talk about this. Right, there was only one elevator opening per every 15 minutes. But this the part that was crazy, right? So Gray started taking the stairs, right? Now, I told you, I was, all right, maybe I didn't tell you. I was on the 9th floor. Graydon was on the 12th floor. So where the convention part of the Hilton Atlanta was on the 2nd floor in the lobby, right? Graydon was going up and down the stairways. Up and down the stairways, getting down there, because it was literally the fastest way to do it. And it was the most tiring. Now, I did it a couple of times as well, but then trying to go upstairs, nah, with these knees, that's not happening. Nah. So I did it a couple of times when I thought it was absolutely necessary, but after that, it just wasn't worth it. So I told myself that after a certain time of the evening, I'm just not going down the fucking I'm not going down there. You know what I'm saying? So I got all the shit that I wanted to do in earlier during the actual convention. Because this is the other thing about this convention. It had the biggest party atmosphere I had ever seen in any sort of comic book geek convention. And that may be because the convention was being held over 5 hotels. So a lot of the people that were going to the convention that was from out of town, they were staying in those hotels to be close to the convention, right? And I'm sure, like for instance, the Baltimore Comic Con, when it comes to when they have theirs during the I think this should be in another couple of weeks if they haven't already had it. I'm sure there's partying happening in the hotels surrounding the convention, but because that particular Comic Con isn't in a hotel, it's in a venue, the convention center, downtown Baltimore. The party stuff is not happening there. But at here, man, it was so much drinking, so much partying going on. It was crazy. It was more like a celebration of the different fandoms. And speaking of that, I gotta say, you know who held it down at this convention? The Trekkies. There were more Trekkies at this convention than I've seen at any other place. They clearly outnumbered Marvel fans, DC fans, anime fans. You name any of the other IPs. What up, Cindy? Any of the other IPs. You name any of the other ones. The Trekkies completely overwhelmed everybody. Like, so, at these Comic-Cons, they typically go around and tell
you can tell by your pictures.
Right.
Literally, it transformed to just Trek.
It was all Trek, baby. All Trek. Yo, they had 250 Star Trek cosplayers that when they put the group picture, had the group shots and all that other shit, they clearly outnumbered everybody. And they had Umbrella Academy, which they had a significant amount of people down there too. A significant amount of people down there, right? But it just wasn't even close. And I told myself at the time, and me and Graydon was actually talking about this too. I said, I'm definitely going to talk about this on the show. Right? He did, yo. He did. Yo, Graydon got G-checked by a 12-year-old Star Trek fan. He absolutely did, yo. But peep the game. This needs to be said more often. And it's not. Trekkies do not get the credit, bro, that they should get for this whole comic book convention craze. They started this shit. Back when motherfuckers was calling up, what's up, Bowflex?
What up, Bowflex?
When motherfuckers was basically calling them weirdos, right? For dressing up like Klingons and Vulcans and all that shit, learning the language and just having fun in their fandom. People was called, there's a special kind of person to go down there. Shut the fuck up. Because in 2022, all walks of life go down there.
The geeks shall inherit the earth.
Facts. To the point where non-geeks are going there just because that's where the party is. What's up, Vermin? Because that's where the party is.
What up?
That's what's happening. Something else about that. And I actually have noticed this at other Comic-Cons I've been at. There is a vibe, a very kind vibe amongst the geek community at these places. And I'm thinking it's because, some of these people are socially awkward and maybe don't really vibe too much outside of this place with other people at their work or at school, whatever like that. But when they come here, they see people that's into the same, what's up, Biddy? The same shit they're into. Right? And it's this sense of camaraderie amongst them. But bro, literally, like people were not, if you outside of this environment, interject yourself into a conversation with people you don't know, depending on where you are and where you live, you might get that ass dragged out there, right?
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? But no, it wasn't none of that. People was jumping in and out of stuff, telling each other they look awesome. Like everything was very just like very kind. And it brought me to this other incident that took place. So we had just got finished getting our badges, and we're going back to the hotel room to stock up on shit, make sure we got our products and all that. This man was trying to walk down the sidewalk. I guess he was trying to get through the crowd. Yes, absolutely. He slipped on the side of the curb and cracked his noggin.
Ooh.
On the concrete. Now, when he hit it, it sounded like somebody had punched him for real. Like a smack, like pop, like. And I probably would have been asleep, yo. You know what I'm saying? I probably would have been asleep, yo. But he had busted the top of his eyebrow and all of that. But he was still awoke. He was still very conscious, all of that. And just to see the people that rushed to help him, when like I know, be walking down Howard Street, slip and crack your head on the side of the sidewalk. See how many people come running out.
Right.
Like that's not a thing. So it just so happened that some of the people that came to help him, one of them had prior medical training, right? Mm-hmm. So he gave him the concussion test and all of that, and we talked to him to make sure he stayed alert and everything. He was in pretty good spirits, considering the fact that he smacked the shit out of that side. He did, yo. He did. But he seemed like he was okay. We eventually got the blood to stop flowing out, and he went along his merry way. But yo, the fact that the people went and showed genuine concern for him, that was just good to see. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That was good to see.
Yeah, hell yeah.
But so on there he is.
I was actually listening to the story of you because I'm a little further behind in the stream. And I was
right.
To dude who ate it or whatever, and we would basically helped him out or whatever.
Yeah,
that was crazy. I'm not sure how far beyond that story you guys are, but just to touch on that, remember we were in mid conversation, right?
Yes.
Like we didn't even know what was going on. And if you hadn't really been right there for someone to like verify, and forgive my voice, you guys, my voice is destroyed. I got sick on the way back. It ain't COVID. I took several COVID tests. It ain't COVID. Just a regular ass cold. But
damn,
it would have sounded like
Gray.
What's up?
Gray? Not to cut you off. Damn, McKenna.
103
with humidity so bad, AccuWeather.
Dangerously humid.
Woo! Down there in Florida. Woo!
Nah,
damn, that's fucking nuts.
It is.
That's crazy.
But continue, bro. Continue.
But what I will say is that if you hadn't been standing there, if you hadn't been walking in the general vicinity, you would have thought dude got stolen on.
Yes.
It sounded like somebody fired on that dude and he just ate it. But the dude, he goes down so quickly, you don't really get a sense of the scale of how big this dude is.
Oh, like, yeah, that's the other thing.
First of all, I don't see you often enough, and I forget often how big you are. Right? Like, you're not a small dude, right? Because I'm 6'4.5". Like people forget, like I'm not a tiny dude at all. I'm almost 6'5", and you're easily 6'2" and wide. This dude stood up and was probably like 6'6".
Right.
This dude was like 6'7", wiry. Like if you would have had to fight this dude, it would have took a lot more than a punch to put this dude down, which is exactly why he didn't go out.
Exactly.
My man was like, listen, this dude, I would have hated to fight this dude. It would have taken several of us to take him down.
I wouldn't fight him either.
Yeah, man. Jesus. So he was good though, man.
He was good. He was still in good spirits. You know what I'm saying? Everybody helped him out, helped him up. He went along his way. I think he was on his way home, as a matter of fact. He had just gotten off or whatever. He was on his way home because he was security down there, which explains the size. You know what I'm saying? That was a big, tall dude, bro. But I'm glad shout out to him because I'm glad he's okay. You know what I'm saying? I was telling him, Gray, about how we took matters in our own hand. We took.
I'm sorry. I let me just introduce say what's up to SPJ though. What's up, brother? How you doing?
Hey, nothing, man. I told you I was supposed to be down there.
I heard.
It was a whole.
We won't get into it. I heard. You know, next time though, we got to have you down there. Right. Next time, you can't miss it.
Absolutely.
We got to have you down there. But go ahead, Stone. I'm sorry.
But I was telling them how we took fate in our own hands. We grabbed destiny by the balls, crushed it and smashed it.
Yeah.
Put books in bags and did the old school love of walking around hand to hand. Like, come here. We did a Jehovah's Witness style. Do you have a moment?
You know what's crazy about that? How that felt? You know what's crazy about how that felt is you and I, all three of us, have experiences selling out of the trunk, various things, right? I done sold everything from wraps to headphones out of the trunk. All right. And everything in between, right? Out of the trunk. And so if you come from that out of the trunk era, it ain't hard at all to go back to that shit. All you need is the circumstance. All you need is the circumstance. And you're like, oh, wait, I got to go back to this.
Oh,
not
this
a problem.
Familiar.
This is not a problem. And the hustle switch just gets turned on and you're like, fuck it, I'm on it. So we literally, based on the circumstances of where we were arranged, and we knew we're just too ambitious to settle for things, right? It's one thing I love about working with Tombstone is that his ambition exceeds the circumstances 99% of the time.
Yeah.
Right. So if we're in a situation, he's like, nah, we're going to be bigger than this. No, we're bigger than this situation right now. Yeah. So let's create those circumstances of what we are instead of what their perception of us is. And so in that situation, we looked at and we were like, okay, what they're telling us is we need to do X. And so we, got upstairs, planned our hustle, split the books up, planned our routes, went separate ways. And, we covered ground, and he talked to people. I talked to people. I took pictures. He took pictures. Yeah. It was, my goal was to get in a situation where either A, my shirt or hoodie could be talked about, and that leads into a conversation about the property, or B, I see a cosplay that I can comment on, and then that leads into, well, hey, I'm working on something. I'm trying to cosplay. Can I show you what I'm working on? You give me an opinion. And they see the art and they're like, bro, this is you. And I was like, this is me and my team. This is the fam, So then we basically start kicking it that way. And now you have a potential sale. You have a potential customer. You have a potential reader. And so I always took it as, either I'm going to, if the interest is strong enough, it doesn't matter if they pay for it. I'm going to make the sales pitch. I'm going to try to get some money, just pay for the copy of the book and, you know, maybe the trip down there or a meal for the day. That's all good. But let's just say that doesn't happen. Chances are I'm going to give them a book.
Especially if it's a certain type of person. See, a certain type of person, we can tell. I'm a comic book head. I know other comic book heads.
Right.
If you give this person this free copy and they read it and enjoy it, they on it.
They're on it.
They're on it. And that's how we used to do with music, right? You would give away free music. Here, take that.
Oh, you know what I used to do, Tombstone? I used to ask people if I could play my stuff in their cars.
There it is.
Right? I'd be at the gas station. I would be outside of a gas station and be like, hey, you got a moment? I've been working on a song. I just want to get an opinion on it. You got, you know, and here's a CD. Throw that shit in there. And sometimes people be like, yeah, man, I ain't really feeling this. And that shit used to hurt. I remember getting told like, this ain't it, dog. Like this is and I just remember telling myself like, it's all right. This is good. You need this shit. You need a motherfucker telling you like it's fucking whack. Which is why I get so annoyed now when people are so, you know, averse to criticism or
you
like
are not allowed to say that some shit is whack.
Yeah, because it's like
that happened. That started in rap. When that started in rap, I was like, that's not what we do over here.
I was born of that fire. I was fucking forged in that fire of motherfuckers telling me my shit was whack. So I don't know.
Go on stage and be whack.
Yeah, you know, get your ass booed the fuck off.
Yeah, people wasn't playing with you, and like you said, Gray, it forges you. It's the gauntlet of fire.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, and when that shit started in hip hop, where if you say something was whack, you're hating. I said this won't bode well. This won't bode well for the art form.
We knew.
Yeah, it wouldn't.
We all knew.
Because now people will feel like they don't need to get better.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But I do recognize that though, just into this particular conversation when it comes to hip hop, there were people who could not see the revolution of the music.
Facts.
Right? The evolution of the music.
Absolutely.
Right?
Fact. Absolutely.
And I feel like, and I take accountability as I call myself a hip hop conservative, right? Because I'm very conservative about what I feel like hip hop should be and the traditionals and the foundational 5 pillars of hip hop, all that shit. Like I'm really into that part. But you know what? I don't really mind now if the young kids aren't really into all that shit, right? Because I stood on those shoulders. Now I get that's what I want hip hop to be, but I've kind of accepted now at 41 years old that, you know what? The young kids, they go interpret it the way they go interpret it. It's really, it was our job and we failed. Right, we've already kind of lost the ability to influence that. Now the next generation is influencing the next generation, and we've now kind of lost the ability to control that narrative.
The reason I don't blame you or myself for that specifically, because anybody I trained is nasty.
I know, right? All my students are ill.
Right? So like I mostly blame that on the ones that had the huge pop culture appeal, who did not take ownership of the industry and allow people who don't rap and they don't know how to do that shit. They just know how to market it and get money off of it. They let them run it and control it. Where was all the golden age rappers starting their own record companies?
Right. And where were they students? Where was Wu-Tang students? Where's Nas' student? Right? Like where was Ice Cube student? You know, where are all these all-time great rapper students?
To be fair, the Killer Bees kind of sucked.
and
not all of them.
Not all of them, but there is an element of that where, and I, as a huge Wu-Tang fan, I say this with no like joy in saying this.
Yeah.
Right.
They, in my opinion, were the worst at transitioning their art and style to the next generation. They were the absolute worst.
I agree.
Out of all of the rappers we blame for why hip hop is quote unquote the way that it is, I think Wu-Tang probably gets about 40% of that. And I love the Wu. I love the W, bro. Like I'm not even that dude. I'm not on the brand. I love the GU is essentially a proxy of that, right? Like I'm not. But at the end of the day, man, for the credit that they get of the era and the age, I also think they get a lot of blame and criticism and responsibility for why it took the turn that it took.
You got to water the seeds, bro. And I think a lot of that didn't do it. That's why, like I said, I don't give you any of that blame or myself, because everybody I trained will fuck these niggas up.
Yeah, my
everybody.
Real.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm not even tripping off that, but I do look at the ones who had a bigger imprint than us that didn't assume ownership of that shit. And this is why that happened. But back to the convention. So I wanted to show those who didn't see our table setup that we didn't use.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So look, we had the spiffy banner on there. It was sharp, bro.
That banner was ill.
Puny banner.
Yeah.
Yo, it looked great. It's just that if you look on the, I want to say the right side of the pic, you'll see a wall. Right. You'll see a wall. Like that did not help us at all. But I did want to also, now that we're back on that, I want to talk about the presentation. So there was some miscommunication, clearly miscommunication, on whether or not Graydon was supposed to perform. So we get down there and we are under it wasn't agreed on or settled. So I guess that's it, because there's a certain way promoters confirm with artists that they're gonna they let you know how much time you got, what time you go on with day, right? None of that. Got none of that. So all right, we go down there and find out that they had us they had Graydon on the thing talking about he's supposed to perform. So we went and we talked to the guy that's what been putting all that stuff together. And let him know in no uncertain terms, nah, B, nothing's prepared for that, because you did not confirm with us. And I can go through the emails. I go straight to the emails and look at the email chain. No confirmation. It was suggested, but it wasn't confirmed. So you could tell he was a bit disappointed in that. And we said we'll do something else. We'll do a presentation, because at the end of the day, yeah, if Graydon had prepared for it, he'd have went down there and killed it. He'd have went down there and killed it. But that does not serve while we're down there.
Right.
That basically would have just put attention, of course, on how good Graydon is, but not on the comic book. And that's why so after Graydon would have went down there and performed for like an hour, at the end of the, oh yeah, and by the way, they got a comic book, y'all. No, B, we not doing that. We not doing that. You know what I'm saying? So we put together to show you what happens when people can work together and have that kind of chemistry, know each other for a bunch of years. We put a presentation together in under a day.
Tombstone, you are not being accurate at all. We actually put a presentation together in under an hour.
I was trying to
I know you're trying to be nice. but they didn't. But for the way that I felt like they kind of tried to do us, they got an hour's worth of preparation.
Yeah, and then there was tech issues, because they wasn't sure they could do our presentation the way we wanted our presentation done. Because now that we had set, we're creatives. Now that we done set in motion what we're trying to do, we want to do it done right, or we wasn't going to do it. We wasn't going to go up there and look like a bunch of fucking fools. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't going to happen. So at the last moment, they finally got all the things that they needed in order to do our presentation the way we wanted. And not that it was perfect, by the way, because there's still some errors made on their part. But
and one on my part.
Yeah, the one with the
audio.
video.
Well, yeah, because I didn't know the other video was playing on the tab, and that should have been me. But it wasn't my laptop, so whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So we get down there, and we freestyle a lot of it. Like, we know the general points that we want to talk about, but we freestyled a lot of it. We just had a list of videos that we were going to play as part of the presentation and music. And I gotta say, bro, it went over big. So big, in fact, when people got up, because we had a Q&A at the end of it, and asked questions, pretty much universally, they was blown away by the shit we had, shit that we showed them. And the thing that made it good about it is there were people there who didn't know who the fuck we were. So this wasn't a case of fandom being that it's already supportive of us. Like, nah, it was people that, it was one guy from the UK who he just walked in the room because as people were coming through, he saw there was an event happening in the room, and he had to call McCall. I'm gonna go in here and see what the fuck going on, right?
Right.
He sat down and he got up there. He was like, "Mate, this, my head is blown." But the way he was trying to describe the story and all that, I was like, "Yo, it's amazing how people interpret the shit you've written." Or the concept you come up with. It's amazing to see people interpret it their way in order for them to understand it. But he was pretty close on the mark. And then after we left out of that room, there was a stray table outside of the room. So we just put books and shit on the table, and they was just coming over, bro. Coming over, buying books, like, this is the shit right here. Asking us questions. And it was people we did have. Shout out to the community, first of all. Because there were people that lived in that area that part of the fan base, and some people that lived, down south in general, not maybe in Georgia, but they saw that we was going to be there, and they showed up. Had one girl shows up. She tells me, "I've been listening to your music since I was in college." Mm-hmm. She came all the way from Alabama, came up there, bought a shirt and a hoodie. Like, yo, it was great. That was just like a great hallmark moment in that whole entire experience, and we still had days to go. We still had days to go after that shit. So, hey Gray, I was telling them about when after the presentation, how we used a little stray table that was outside of the room, and how we was just selling books.
Oh yeah. We set up our own table outside the room, and we were just selling books to all the people who were coming by and selling merch to them. Speaking of which, link with me offline. We definitely want to.
Got you.
That was we basically turned a situation that wasn't the greatest situation in terms of visibility for our brand into something that we just I don't know how far into the night you went. But I have a story to tell about that.
I know you did.
Yeah, I have a couple stories to tell from. There's first of all, there are probably more stories I can't tell from Dragon Con. But I will say this: you guys had talked about the party atmosphere of Dragon Con.
Yeah,
and it really is a 6.5 day celebration of nerddom. Yeah, and SBJ said it earlier. The nerd shall inherit the earth, and it's like you feel that when you're there. So it was easy for me, I'm a giant nerd, literally and figuratively. It was easy for me to take those books and go out there into the party and find people who are easily convertible. I saw people there who were dressed as not only just Star Trek, but like Stargate, Battlestar characters, Farscape, like all the franchises that I was into that were inspirations from, the stuff that inspired us to write our characters. So it's easy. Just walk up to those people and be like, yo, I'm a huge fan of this stuff. Can I take a picture? Can I show you what I'm working on? Can I pitch you at 30? And people are like, you can pitch me for 30 minutes. I'm super faded. And you know what I mean? Like I'll listen to anything at this point. So, like that dude, I ran into that dude on the vendor floor. He was like, he just walked up to me and was like, bro, that's a nice, I had on the hoodie. I had on the hoodie with the cover. He was like, yo, that's a nice, the hoodie was getting action. Yeah, the hoodie was getting action. Of course. So he was like, yo, man, that's a pretty crazy hoodie. What is that? And I was like, oh man, it's a comic book me and my brothers are working on. He was like, for real, you're working on a comic? I'm like, yeah, I'm here on business. Can I show you what I'm working on? He's like, yeah. So I pop it out, whatever, and give him the test copy, but it's still a really good quality of the test copy. And the colors really pop on that demo that we have.
They're on the way, by the way. They're on the way.
Oh yeah, if you have ordered them
Tuesday, I'll get them Tuesday.
Oh, okay, cool, mm-hmm. Good stuff. And so he got a chance to open up the demo, and after he was like, you're selling these? And I'm like, yeah, man, if you want to give me a couple bucks, 10, $5, whatever. He was like, let me get 2, gave me 20, boom, flipped them right there. You know what I mean? And I told him, we got merch and all that type of stuff. He was like, he'll get online and check it out. But I always try to also take pictures with the people who end up either buying them or reading them or something like that. I ended up having to negotiate if you notice, there's 4 pips in there, but there's actually 3 on his neck. And I actually walked up to the vendor and I was like, yo, man, y'all got to put another pip in my man's my man's rank combat combo here. He got promoted at the end of season 3. So the guy was like, all right, throw an extra like $3 or whatever, $5. You know? So I probably overpaid. I probably lost that negotiation, but it was
the inner Ferengi came out the other
dude. Man. He did exactly. Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, man. But yeah, Graydon went to a lot of, like I said, he went to a lot of those parts. I'm too old for that shit. I'm on my fucking Danny Glover shit.
Bro.
Graydon was up till 2 and 3 and
4.
You know
4:30, 5. Like I was definitely gonna live that up. Ran into the whole D Space. Ran into the Natasha Yar, which was fucking crazy. Yeah. The cosplay accuracy, and I realized halfway through taking these pictures that I needed to take my badge off. Right? I hated the fact that was marred by that badge. But see, next year I'm much more prepared. This was my first actual con, like where I was there and I was on the ground and I was in the hotel. Like I know better now what to do and what not to do. We know now how to do this shit. I feel like having that experience and all these pictures and all these experiences to inform that next time is going to be way crazy.
Yo, especially at our first one as a company was the biggest one, right? Yeah. So that's again a trial by fire. You know, dealing with all the logistical issues that come with some place so huge with so many people. So yeah, we good. We're good.
Yeah, Mega Ran. I ran in the homeboy Mega Ran. So I don't know if you guys
explain to people who Mega Ran is who don't know.
So if you're in the nerdcore hip hop, right? Like our music tends to intersect with nerdcore slightly because there are a lot of scientific and just content overlap, right?
Yes.
But nerdcore is its own thing. It has been its own thing since 2007 or 8 or whatever, like probably even a little bit before that, right? Yeah. But it's been around all around since, secular hip hop has been around. And this dude's been a pioneering trailblazer of all of that, right? When Alex Trebek was alive, he mentioned him on Jeopardy. Like this dude's been in, video game and movie soundtracks and stuff like that. He's been all over the world. Perform. He did a album called Black Materia. It's a Final Fantasy VII based album, hip hop album, where he sampled nothing but Final Fantasy VII stuff. Like that's how deep down the rabbit hole he goes. So if you ever want to listen to some hardcore like nerdcore shit, but it sounds good, the dude can real spit. Like Mega Ran is as legit as they come. I'd say him and Frontalot probably are the co-title holders of
the King of Nerdcore.
Yeah, because if you split it into 2 brands, like wrestling, because he's a huge pro wrestling fan. We got a chance to sit down and have dinner, and he's one of the nicest people that I've known. Me and Mega Ran go back probably about a decade, probably longer actually, because we both were out here in Phoenix at the same time. He's from here, and I moved out here. And so we used to perform at some of the same shows and stuff, and we would come across each other. I remember I used to perform at the Stray Cats over here in Tempe. He used to perform at the Stray Cats, Spanfly. A lot of these.
That's my guy right there.
Span. Yeah, he comes from that circle. He comes from Span circle. In fact, they have an album together called Spy versus Spy. Yeah, they have an album together called Spy versus Spies. Mega Ran and Spanfly.
Didn't Mega Ran have a song on the Clerks 3 soundtrack?
Yes, he does. And on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Shredder's Revenge game, he's got a song on that soundtrack.
Dope.
So big shout out to Mega Ran. That's the dude, and we go way back, man. That dude is one of my dudes, man. Anytime I see him having big success, it always warms my heart because I know he got it doing it his way.
Yeah,
and I love to see people doing
facts.
Yeah, I hate when I see someone get it, but they had to compromise everything they had to do to get it, and it's just like, bro, you might as well just did X in the beginning and not even but whatever.
Right.
Shout out to Mega Ran.
This picture here is this is after my wife came down on Saturday, and we were actually in this picture listening to one of Graydon's songs off of his upcoming release.
What song was that?
I'm trying to remember.
Was that Guilty?
It was Guilty. It was
Okay.
Guilty.
Yeah,
it was Guilty. We was listening to Guilty. It's just little moments like this. It was dope. It was just fire. like that experience in general, from even more than just a business. She absolutely killed
it.
That she killed that show.
And I'm getting fitted for my DS9 when I go to Vegas.
Oh,
and I'm probably going to get a D Space 9 because the TNG shit is hot. Yeah. And I have people, comment on my shoes and shit. And I will say this about cosplay. Here's the thing, bro. Let me just get into this shit real quick.
Yeah.
First of all, a nigga's shoes was looking hella fly. So don't even front. Like, motherfuckers was trying to front like my shit wasn't extra crispy sauce. You know what I'm saying? But here's the thing, though. I get it that my shit wasn't Starfleet regulations, but I got approval from the highest levels of Starfleet command to wear those shoes because I have saved the world countless times over. And when you do that, you can take liberties with your field dress. So as far as I'm concerned, I was still in regulation, and if I had to, I could still double fist a Gorn or punch Q in the face if I need to. So.
In a minute.
Don't front on the captain's kicks.
Hilarious, bro.
Trying to front on the captain's kicks.
Absolutely fucking hilarious.
Oh my god.
It was, like I said, it was a great experience. Something we definitely are going to do again and rinse and repeat at various different places across the country. I took this shot right here.
That Tendi is great. Yeah. I'm not sure who my man was supposed to be from Strange New Worlds, but he looked good too. But the Tendi and the here's the thing about the lower decks people. You say Star Trek showed out. Inside the Star Trek community, the lower decks people showed out.
Yeah,
they were banging out there, dog. They were killing it. Everything they did was because that's an anime show, so it's like. They really want that shit to look good. It looked really good.
And it did, bro. The other thing that I noticed too, speaking on that, with everybody that was repping Starfleet, they didn't have to know each other. Literally, I've walked down hallways with Graydon, and when he's in full uniform, and watched them address him by his rank.
That was wild,
crazy, like crazy. Bro. Crazy.
Here's what's even crazier about that. Do you remember when I was talking to that lieutenant and she was literally referring to me as sir and she would not break character
at all?
Like there were people there. There was an Odo there who was legitimately grumpy.
Yes,
because he was Odo.
He was Odo. He had to be grumpy.
Like he just had the face of just being grumpy and just prickly and. That was Odo, and there was a Vulcan science officer. We became friends on Instagram. She's a great cosplayer, by the way, and she was a Vulcan, and she was literally emotionless. Do you remember her?
Yes.
The girl in the blue.
Yes.
Yeah, you'll see. She's after this dude. This dude right here, Black Sam Jackson on Instagram. This dude actually has a pretty good following. He's like 5,000-6,000 people who follow him. He does all these Sam Jackson impersonations. So this apparently was Captain Sam Jackson for Starfleet. I didn't know that until I saw his post on it. Yeah.
That's fucking crazy, dog.
But that picture did really well. You should definitely like it on Facebook. Absolutely. If you do see it.
Absolutely.
And that was when I did put my uniform up, but there was another party I went to after that, and I didn't wear my uniform. I should have, but I ended up wearing the hoodie and that D Space Nine uniform, or that's actually Star Trek.
That's Voyager?
No, that's actually Insurrection movie.
Okay.
Yeah, that's actually like right in between Deep Space Nine and Insurrection. So that could be season 6, Deep Space Nine, or Insurrection.
Yeah, I seem to recall Cisco wearing something similar.
Yeah, she was the only one with that though. Shout out to the Black Non-Believers. They definitely hooked us up though.
They definitely did.
Yeah,
without question.
That was a good science officer outfit. A lot of people had props from the original series.
That's original series. Yeah, that's original series right there. Yeah.
Also known as Those Old Scientists. But yeah, so there was definitely a lot of Trek representation, and I'm proud to call myself a member of that community. So,
and also like I said, it's just dope to see how they showed up and they showed out, right? Because I've been watching Trek since the original series was first in syndication, right?
Stop breaking it.
Shut up. So I've been watching it since then, and I've gone through all the generations of it, and I have rarely seen people as committed to that fandom as the people there, because you often see the fandoms get like a bad rep, and sometimes it's very deserved online with some of the toxicity that comes out of some of these fandoms. Mm-hmm. That's not what I found in person with a lot of these people. Like, everybody was down there having a good time, just respecting the fandom, celebrating the fandom, really getting into their characters. And it was dope, bro. Like, it was just a dope ass experience that we definitely are going to do again. And we learned so much shit down there that it really informed the way we're going forward with the company, right? Like certain things that we realize now that we have to do in order to be, because these big cons, it's not a first come first serve basis when you fill out an application to vend down there. You fill out the application, then they look you up. What up, Napalm?
Oh, shit, Palms in the building.
Then they look your ass up, and they want to see what you're doing. Are you a legitimate company? Are you some fly by night, one shot and you're done? Nah, they look. So it's a certain type of presence we have to have on social media when they look our shit up. So that's what we're working on, that, and just other ways to streamline the company. I felt really good before we went down there about what Majestic was doing. After, you can't tell me shit.
I know, right?
You can't tell me shit. No, nothing. Well, to the point where we was even in, we were so on it, on that hustle tip. When we was in the airport leaving, we were still hustling with people that was in the airport. We was on it.
No. I mean, from the moment we flew out of town, we was pitching people. I was pitching people on the plane. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. It's at the end of the day, it just gives us an opportunity to just expand and grow the visibility of what we're trying to do. And there's a lot of people who's interested in this type of storytelling and don't even realize they're interested in this type of storytelling. So, you know, just even engaging in that, just, you know, people will remember that. Like, oh, I met you. Yeah. How you doing with the comic book? I'll check it out, you know?
And that's kind of how we want to do that. We want to have such a presence at these cons that when we show up, people go, "Oh, it's the Majestic guys," because that's when you know you're in the industry and recognized. You know what I'm saying, in the industry and shit. So that's what we're looking forward to. Looking forward to possibly doing a Florida con down there. Hook up with my sister Cindy and my niece McKenna. Like, we seriously considering doing small ones and big ones and all of that. We're gonna get our ducks in a row, and also I'm actually super excited about the fact that soon, I'm not gonna give a date. Issue 1, yeah, we on it. We on it. You know what I'm saying? Definitely.
Yeah, no, that issue 1 is gonna be incredible. It's already incredible, but it's when they actually get the chance to see it.
Yeah, it's now talk about blowing your mind, right? But I don't know, man. I feel like this showed us what we could do when we were on our back foot. Now imagine when we ready. Right. Like we understand the mission. We know of all the aspects of the things we need to do. Shit.
And we control most of the variables.
Yeah. Like, it's gonna be crazy. And we'll have more content, right? To show. Like that presentation that we did. We're gonna, as dope as it was, we're gonna polish it up. It's gonna be, but next time we do that, watch. That shit's gonna be crazy. Absolutely gonna be crazy. But other than that, let me give a quick shout out to my wife for coming down, bringing us extra books, and also bringing us the new proof of the extended version, which looked just incredible.
Yeah, it does.
So I can't wait to get them. They're supposed to come on Tuesday, and then we can take a certain number of those to get the metal covers made with those. And
you know what we got now? Also posters.
And we got posters now. We got hella posters. Show them, bro. Show them.
The poster over there. You got a poster now? I don't know. There might be light glare or whatever over there.
There's a little light glare on it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I ended up framing it, so it's all framed now.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do with mine. I'm gonna frame it there.
Oh, I did send you a picture of it if you want to.
Yes. Yeah. Let me put that up here real quick. That way it looks a lot spiffy. Oh yeah. Move this over here. All righty then. There it is.
Yep, there you go.
There it is. Spiffy.
Yeah. But we don't have the listing yet in our Shopify yet, do we?
No, I'm putting it in there this weekend. It'll be up in there this weekend.
Okay,
because I just got the right packaging to be able to send it out the right way. McKenna, yeah, this is what we counting on right here. McKenna says, my mom and I will cosplay as characters and help sell them.
Oh man, that's gonna be crazy.
That's gonna be crazy.
Yes, because next year, are you going? I mean, I assume both of you. I mean, Stone, I know you're going. You have to go.
Yeah.
SPJ, you're coming, right?
Next year, of course.
Okay, so I'm assuming you've already started mulling what you're gonna come as, right? Like the cosplays.
Yes.
I am now going multiple day cosplay. I need
Same.
3. I need 3 B tier cosplays and 1 A tier cosplay for Saturday and Sunday night, right? So on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, those are the B tier cosplay, right? This stuff I could sweat in crazy. I don't really care about. But the A tier stuff, I go out at like 11 at night and I basically spend about 3 hours in. And then I go back to the hotel room and I put it up for the tomorrow night, the even longer party on Sunday, because that Sunday party is crazy. That Sunday party makes that Saturday party look like, damn, y'all ain't got to go to work. Like, nope. we took the next week off too, motherfucker. So it feels like it, man. You hit a point where your body hits that nutrient crash where you're like, okay, I've been eating fast food now for 4 days. I've been eating, drinking, teas and sugar waters for 4 or 5 days straight now, and your body runs into that wall where you're just like, all right, I'm gonna just stay in my hotel bed for about. And you hear the party going on outside. You hear it going on down the hall. Like people are still getting it in. They don't care. Like it's such a. It feels like Vegas has been transported into a comic book convention. Bro. Yeah,
it really does. Also, I want to give a shout out to my man Joe.
Joe. Yeah.
Bro. Joe was. We stumbled into Joe in one of our mini trips, exploring the convention with our books and shit. And he's a huge Trekkie. I mean,
Joe Campbell
is a huge Trekkie, bro. And he's also a phenomenal artist. So
his Star Trek art is incredible.
It's like it's unexpectedly good. Because when we went down there, he was carrying some things with him to get to that one room where they were having that Star Trek type of conversation,
which
whatever. Right?
I missed.
Yeah, bro. Because they had legitimate people from the show. That was up there speaking, like on the production team, right? So he was carrying this thing, couple of these things with him, and we was talking to him. We was like, "So I'll tell you what, come with me, and if I'll take you such and such if you carry one of these things." So Grady started carrying one of the things for him, and we looked at it. And it looks amazing. It looks amazing, and then we found out he did it. Wait a minute, you did this? Yeah. And then the other one he did that too. And then when we finally got to the spot, Grady never forgot his mask. So he couldn't go in, right? So I went in with the mask. He showed me all around the room. It was packed in there, too. It was packed in there. Showed me all around the room, all the art that was on the room. And I know I'm getting in people's way and shit. They trying to watch the shit. I'm walking across looking at the shit like, I was like, yo, you did all of this? He was like, yeah. That's all him and his wife do is art.
And he'd been going there for about the 20-some years, too.
20-something years.
Maybe even 30 years, something like that. So, yeah.
It's very well known around that spot too. At that convention, very well known because he came over to where we were at over in the Hilton Atlanta in the actual room where we was about to have our presentation. And that's the other thing about Joe. Very supportive of what we was doing. He was telling us they the future. That's the future right there. Like
Joe was a huge promoter, and the thing about him, and there was other people too. Shout out to Jimmy Hetty. Like there was people within that circle who kind of like just absorbed us into their circle, and they didn't know us from anything. And it was just like once they knew we were connected, it was like, oh shit, because we didn't know that they knew the same people that we knew.
Right.
I mean, it was almost
Right.
like it was crazy because you're walking around with this person like, oh, you know Joe too. I'm like, oh, wait a minute, like, wait, this is
Yeah.
too crazy. It's too small of a world.
It was dope, bro. It was just a dope ass experience that we will definitely repeat. You know what I'm saying? And the other good thing about it too is that while we were there selling books, we also were selling books online. And
Oh yeah.
all of you will be happy to know those books have been sent out. You should be getting them within the next week. So yeah, good times.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good times.
That's what I would call a successful trip.
Absolutely. And also just a self-congratulatory shout out to Majestic Comics, the company, the entity itself, because it foot the bill for all of that. And that is thanks to the community and the amount of support. Absolutely. Like the amount of support that we've gotten from the GU community, purchasing and supporting us, supporting our Patreon, which is our Patreon is very important because that Patreon is what helped us get all our legal fees taken care of in the beginning, merchandise, our first bits of merchandise, and books. So that shit's right. So shout out to the Majestic ones. The metal ones are coming, Mike. As soon as Tuesday gets here and they drop off the extended version, because the metal versions of the books are metal covers of the extended versions. So as soon as they come here, we can then send out a portion of those books to get the metal treatment done to it. And I'll have a timeline that's more exact once we have that already in printing, right? So all of those things are coming very, very soon. Soon, the people that had the tier with the posters, that's about to go out. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, we doing it.
I will say this too, if I may, Stone. For those who did participate in that Kickstarter campaign and are just now getting the perks and the stuff that they ordered, next time, now that we understand this was our actual first company Kickstarter, it will be a lot more streamlined. We now know the process. We now have our distributors, so it'll be a lot easier, probably a lot faster. I'm being frank. But this was a learning experience, and just we're building this company from the ground up, and we have to learn on the fly ways to not only stay in the black, but find good relationships with companies that we can build our brand with. And so sometimes we don't get that right on the first attempt, and we need to kind of look around and be like, oh, okay, there's another person. Okay, let's do that.
There's a better way to do certain things. I will say this, just talking to Structure about it, he was like, nah, we're doing well in comparison to a lot of other Kickstarters where it's people that have waited an entire year and haven't gotten the stuff that they got. So that's always encouraging to me when I see us making strides our first time that other people didn't. I kind of look at that like, yo, that's pretty dope. That means we on the right path with that shit. So it's just so dope the way the community came together to help make this a reality. Vermin, which tier did you support? Because that will also determine when you get yours. You know what I'm saying? I think probably the last people to get theirs, because that's the last thing that needs to be made, is the metal covers. That is the little last thing. Everything else, the extended versions are here, the posters are here. We started the signed ones. When Graydon goes out to Vegas, what's that, next Saturday?
What are the dates for that? Is it 17, 18, 19?
I believe so. We got to talk to Struck about that.
Yeah, it's Awesome Con in Las Vegas, 17, 18, 19th.
Yeah. Graydon and Struck will be out there.
Yeah, we'll be out there, and I'll be walking the floor and blah, blah, blah.
And then once he gets Struck to sign his name on the book, that's all those books that were signed that people supported for, that's signed, that can ship out. I'll send great addresses. Bam. 25.
Man.
I need you to be a bit more specific, Vermin. So what did you get, the print book by itself, or did you get one with the poster? Did you get the extended version? Did you get a signed copy or a metal one? Oh, Susan, you can go to our website. As a matter of fact, I'll give you our store. I'll put the store link in. That shit is beautiful,
isn't it? And then the extended version, which
beautiful. That shit is.
The extended version is crazy because in
goodness.
the regular one you don't have a lot of those inks and the black and whites and stuff and the questions to the editors and stuff like that. Yeah. So
let me put this. All right. Print book only. Okay, it should be on the way, bro. Because most of those have been sent out.
In fact, we could probably verify offline if yours got sent out or not, because it most likely did.
Yeah,
we sent out most of our ones.
Yeah, it's probably only 4 people that haven't gotten theirs. Well, haven't got theirs sent out yet. What up, Fabo?
Fabo. Fab, we going next year, my guy.
Yo, they was gonna sneak. They was gonna pull up on us. They was gonna pull up on us.
Yo, this motherfucking MTA. If it wasn't for the MTA, then we would have been down there.
Yeah, it was a whole thing. It was a whole thing with that.
The plans were set. I had gone so far as to hit Yetta up. Like, hey, everything is looking good. As long as no unforeseen things pop up, we in there.
Right.
Hour later, Fab was like, yo, nah, B. I gotta be to work at 6:00 in the morning on Sunday. Like,
oh,
no!
Bro, the party is just getting started.
Yo, it was
God
crazy.
Damn it, man.
Because they was gonna drive down.
Yeah.
They were gonna drive down?
Yes.
How long is that drive?
10
hours.
Oh, that's not crazy. That's both of y'all can switch. Oh, I hate driving though. But
me too. But I drove for this.
Yeah, I would have drove for that too.
Yeah,
next year, I might be Teal'c. I might be Agent J from Men in Black. I'm gonna be Shaka Zulu. Bro, are you kidding me? I'm gonna be the black pilot from Galaxy Quest. What was that dude's name?
Oh,
dude that screamed. He was like, that's broken. That's broken. Don't touch it. Don't touch it.
Yeah, I'm gonna be Raiden. I'm gonna be.
Oh, your Raiden shit is gonna be crazy.
It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy. Raiden,
you know what's crazy? We talked about this too. Obviously you see gender bent cosplay all the time, right? You saw like a Larry Croft, right? Not Laura Croft. You saw like female and Sub-Zeros and Scorpions and stuff like that, right? Absolutely. But you also started seeing racially bent characters, right? Now there are certain characters that are already there, because there's a Miles Morales, so it's easy to see Black Spider-Man and shit like that.
Yeah.
But you also saw like a Black Cloud Black Cloud from Final Fantasy VII, Black Squall from Final Fantasy VII. I saw a Black female Squall, which was gender and racial. So
bunch of Black Supermen. I saw a bunch of Black Supermen.
Oh yeah.
It was dope.
It was dope.
Fire, yo. It was fire. But again, I must say, it was the Trekkies that stole the day. They stole that. They came down there in force. Like, they sent the whole Federation down that bitch. Yo, they was in force, yo.
We had to represent.
They was repping. Definitely repping. So, but yeah, that was my last 2 weeks.
Oh, shit. So it's time for me to bitch.
I guess it is. It's time for you to go in.
All right, so like I haven't had any huge issues with the people,
right?
As far as the trip is concerned. Mind you, the trip is Monday,
right?
But the company through which I booked the trip made a slight but significant fuck up. When they transferred my name to my flight reservation, they combined my first name and my middle initial.
Oh, damn.
Now, I understand how that could have happened, but that's absolutely not insignificant.
Right.
Luckily, I happened to look at the booking earlier in the week, so I was able to catch it. So I had to contact the airline to fix it. luckily, they have the little chat bot on their website, so I didn't have to call nobody.
Right.
I had to be on the phone with no motherfuckers.
Right.
So I have to do the things to confirm that I'm me and that the flight is mine and all that other good shit. You know, standard shit. So the guy says, please confirm, as we can only change the name once. Confirm that that you want this to say James Anthony Davis. I said, hold on. Let me check my passport. Let me see what my passport says. He says, okay. I said, all right, well, no, I wanted to say James A. Davis. He says, well, pause. Let's step out of the story for a second.
Okay.
Now, this may have been company policy for him to default it to what my license said, because that's the form of documentation that I uploaded to verify that was me.
Right.
Yeah, so sure, it might be company policy. But sometimes company policy interferes with common sense.
Facts.
Damn right.
The booking was for JAMESA Davis. When I give you my license, you clearly see that my middle name starts with an A.
Right.
So when I say to you, I want my reservation to say James A. Davis,
Right.
after verifying my identity and after verifying my reservation,
Right.
common sense would tell you that should be fine.
Yeah. Facts.
Nah. No, for some reason. So I tell him I want the reservation to say James A. Davis. This is how that convo went. He says, it says on your government ID you uploaded Anthony. I said, yes. He says, the middle name on the government ID is Anthony, not A. Correct. But I'll be using my passport, since it's an international flight.
Right.
I'll be using my passport as my ID. And that's what it says on my passport. Remember when I told you, hold on, let me see what's on my passport? I would not have come back and given you something that wasn't on my...
Yeah.
I anticipated that this would not go anywhere, so I say, fuck it. Would you like me to upload my passport? He says, yes. So I take a picture of my passport and I upload it. His response: sorry, but the details are blurry. Now, y'all, wait, stop, because you are in the lead. Y'all know I do the trip thing, right? Like, this isn't news. Yeah, this is, okay.
It may have come up.
Y'all know that I've talked about credit and crypto and also, y'all know I've done applications and such online that require you to upload documents.
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
Okay. Y'all know I'm a tech guy. I talk about work a lot. Y'all know I'm a tech guy. Okay. Y'all know I'm a photographer, right? Y'all know I hate wasting time and money.
That's never come
Y'all
up.
know I hate interacting with humans. Especially ones that have done some shit that I deem nonsensical.
Right.
Does it really seem like I'm the type that would have uploaded a blurry ass picture
Hell no. First
of
all,
my passport?
You're too anal to do some shit like that. When it
Bruh!
comes to that. That's not, yeah. Not a thing.
There was nothing blurry. And to make sure I wasn't tripping afterwards, I showed someone else the first picture. Now, I'm not about to put a picture of my passport up for the world to see.
Fuck not.
But I
Damn
showed
it.
somebody else in person.
I was waiting too.
Shut up. So I showed somebody else in person the first picture that I took, and they're like, "What's blurry?" I said,
What's wrong with the picture?
I don't fucking know. So, because he said that, like, I don't know. I fucked this. I'm gonna have to ask this again. Does it really seem like I'm the type to upload a blurry ass picture in this particular situation and prolong my need to interact with this fucking NPC?
No, not at all.
So, But again, I'm aware of how this works. I know that if I make a fuss about this, it's only going to prolong the fucking interaction.
Yep.
So I simply took another picture. At this time, I took the same exact picture. I just turned the flash on. Because, mind you, the first picture was not
right.
It was well lit the first time.
Right.
I'm sitting in this type of condition. But anyway, actually, this is exact condition. This is exactly where I was sitting. So that got it all situated. And this motherfucker, this dumbass motherfucker, had the nerve, the gall, the audacity, the ignorance to push the survey on me.
That was stupid. that was
damn.
stupid.
I want to see what the card you filled out. Please tell me you took a picture of the card you filled out.
No. It was only two questions. It was only two questions. It said, "Did you?" it said, "Did you? Was your issue solved?" I said, "Yes." Did you enjoy working with this agent?
Oh man.
If I could have, I only wished. The only thing I would have changed about the survey is that if I would have been able to type my response.
Agreed.
Because fuck no, but a simple no, I'm sure sufficed. I'm pretty sure I listen. No, it's not my preference. It's not my preference. But I think they kind of get the point. Anyway, little small thing. Question for the both of you. In the workplace, in particular, is it better to be a snitch, or is it better to gossip?
In the workplace.
In the workplace.
I'll let Stone take this because I'm sure he'll qualify it differently from the way I'm going to qualify it.
All right. So when we say snitch,
justifiable snitching.
I'm about to say it depends on what it is, because when you're in the workforce at these job places of work, there are other coworkers that could be doing shit that make your job a lot harder.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And in that particular situation, you have to ask yourself, is me being nice and not telling on this motherfucker who's making my day fucked up every day when I come up in here in my own best interest? Then you also got to factor in the culture at the job. Overall culture at the job, because every job has their own little culture going on.
Yep, I agree with that.
Absolutely.
And you need to be able to read the fucking room, right? In that case, if you know that you putting this man on blast or this woman on blast for some shit they're not doing, is going to create an even bigger headache for you down the line on the job, then you probably want to get in that gossip line and hope that shit gets to the necessary people. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They can affect some change on that. The last long-term occupation that I had was at the Phillips Seafood thing. That culture there, look, if you are a regular employee and you get caught snitching, it's gonna be bad for you there, buddy. It's gonna be bad. Now, if you're a supervisor, that's different.
Right.
That's different. If you are a regular employee and you get caught out in them Phillips streets snitching on motherfuckers for some shit, yeah, that'll solve that problem. But there's a bunch of they hired all types there. Motherfuckers coming straight out of prison, all that shit. You might have an issue in the locker room.
You said you might have an issue.
You might have an issue outside. Now, if you somebody who don't give a fuck and is willing to throw hands behind the shit you just said,
Right.
Do you? But just know it's coming.
Oh yeah.
Just know it's coming. You know what I'm saying? It's coming.
So I would also, I like his qualification because I was going to go there too. Culturally, you have to understand where you're at. If you're in the military, snitching is, you know what I mean? Because there's a culture in the barracks, right? Like there's a lower enlisted culture, there's a culture in the barracks, and then there's a culture amongst like people who live on post versus people who live off post, and certain shit that happens supposed to be, if it happens on post, it stays on post. If it happens off post, it stays off post. But then the lines get crossed because motherfuckers like to kick it off post and kick it with people because it's cooler out there. And so certain word gets back that like, oh, this dude, he don't really be doing nothing that where he be shamming. You know, that was a term we used to use, do be shamming. And like, I used to sham. I'm not gonna lie, and I would if I found out that somebody had snitched on me because I and because they didn't figure out how to sham their job at the end of the day. Because in the military, you're on 24 hours a day, even though you got a shift, right? So you got to find time off for yourself. That's just the way that it is. If you're gonna do anything outside the military, you're gonna have to find ways to just get time for yourself because you're theoretically on 24 hours a day, and so. Yeah, at work I was writing rhymes and I was sitting in the damn, the motor pool and shit when nobody was in there writing rhymes and listening to music and people would come in, like, what you doing private? Like, I'm over here. Sergeant sent me over here. You know what I mean? Like, you just say some shit. And then they'd go back and tell the fucking first sergeant, as if the first sergeant don't know that half the platoon is shamming. Yeah. You know what I mean? But it's like, look, if you don't end up in his office or it don't get back to the company commander, then it don't matter. Even the first sergeant's not going to snitch you out to the company commander. So that's what it is. So you have to understand the culture. So the gossip aspect of it, if it's in comparison to gossip, personally, I'm like, I don't like gossiping at all. So, but I also, look, if you're able to get away with shamming at your particular, I'm speaking in the military, right? If you're in the corporate world, it's totally different. But in the military, if you're able to get away with shamming, I'm not going to rat you out just because it's like, hey, you must have figured that shit out. You got it working for you. Yeah, you got a system. You know what I'm saying? Because we all got to show up to PT the next day anyway. You can't really, unless you got a profile, you can't really get out of that. So you better be able to get some little time off at your little job or something like that.
Thanks.
That's a great question, though.
So it is. So it came from there's some shit going on at work. It's going to be a fucking civil war. If the right people don't step
like
in,
an AEW civil war or like
WCW, that shit blew the fuck up.
Didn't it blow up? Overnight, all of a sudden, like all the titles are vacated and everybody's suspended.
Right after
and CM Punk
a decent show, their marquee show, everything just blows the fuck up. But no, it could be akin to that. I ain't even gonna hold you. There could be positions vacated.
Oh shit!
Damn.
If this gets to where it could be.
Are the EVPs gonna get buried? I'm sorry. That's
you know what's funny about that? No. You know what's funny about that? The top people in my company are all vice presidents.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So yes, actually, it's possible for one or two to get buried in this situation.
That's hilarious.
So yeah, I'm not gonna go into detail on this one because this don't involve me. So I ain't like I go into detail on my shit, but this somebody else shit. But basically, there are philosophical differences between two sides of a floor that are related but don't actually do the same thing.
Right.
And they are approaching this thing that they have to work together on, and shit it's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. So my thing is, me personally, at my job, I don't give a fuck what you like. Alluding to what Tim said, I don't give a fuck what you do, as long as you don't make my job harder.
Don't make my job difficult, bro.
You make my job harder. See, I know I'm in a unique position. I don't expect, like, I don't give anybody work advice, right? Because I know that I'm in a very unique position. It is very rare for people to just be in the specific situation that I'm in. My direct boss is a vice president of the company. And I have a good boss. Like, she will go to bat for us. She's one of those bosses that will go to bat for you and then pull you aside. Like, what the fuck happened?
Never underestimate the value of that.
Absolutely.
Bruh. And I because she is who she is, I do my best to do my best.
Right. To not make her look bad.
Because, what the fuck?
I like how you put that. I do my best to do my best.
Right, she's gone to bat for me so many times. Not even shit that I was wrong about, but just in general.
Right.
What the least I can do is make sure her name good.
Facts.
Right.
So, Yeah, no. If you're actively getting in my way, I'm absolutely telling someone that can. Because here's the thing. Here's the thing. What I'm not going to do at work is what I would absolutely do in real life. In real life, if there's an issue, I'm addressing it head on, and however far it goes is however far you want to go.
We got issues.
Right. I guess we gonna be out here renting Stimpy and that shit.
I mean, listen. So because that's the case, I can't do that at work.
Right.
I can't do that at work, even up to the point of arguing. There's a certain amount of argument. Y'all know I'll go back and forth with a motherfucker forever. Can't do that at work. I ain't got the time. I ain't got the energy. I might not like you. It's much harder for me to debate when I don't like you.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a debate no more.
Yeah.
It's going to turn into something else.
Right.
And I might say some things. No, I'm going to say some things that you're not going to like.
Right.
It's just that's a part of me that I can't control.
Right.
So because I can't control it, I'd rather just avoid it. You're not going to do what you need to do. This is protocol. This is what's supposed to happen. You're not going to do it? All right, cool. Good. Hey, listen, I told them that this is what's supposed to happen. They're not doing it. I don't know what else to do.
That's it.
Yeah.
Because if you this is the thing motherfuckers don't be realizing. Like my grandfather told me, he said, you know what your job is when you go to work? I was like, what? He was like, whatever the fuck they told you to do.
Bruh, you know what's funny about that?
That's an old school game right there.
My saying about that is, because this applies to whatever your situation in life is. If you're an entrepreneur, if you're in the military, if you are scamming out in these streets, if you are in the fucking mafia itself, your job is to make the person above you's job easier.
Yeah. And as long as that don't endanger you in any way, and you ain't breaking no fucking laws or no shit like that can get you jammed up, that's it, B. And if somebody again,
and you're in the mob, you should be doing some stuff that breaks laws.
That's true. Right. That's true. That's one of the exceptions.
Yeah, that's one of the
that's one of the exceptions.
That's hilarious. But no, but again, it really to me it boils down to: are you going to get in trouble or have your life at this workplace compromised because this other motherfucker isn't doing what they supposed to do? So they get away scot-free and don't have it, and then you got to take the brunt of it. Who is this motherfucker? I only know you here, motherfucker. You ain't somebody I'm going to take a bullet for. Fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? But
here's the thing.
If it ain't that, mind your business.
Yo, facts. If
it ain't that,
yes, exactly. Because here's the thing. Any of the people at work that I like, I tend to have a way to convince them to do these things.
Right.
It's not a situation like I don't get anything from the shit that I have to tell people to do at work.
Right.
Like it doesn't benefit me directly. The only way it benefits me is me doing my job right. That's the only way it benefits me because there are obviously perks to that. So I really don't care if you do this or not. That's the part that you're missing when I have these back and forth with these people. The part that you're missing is I don't care. Prime example. There was the email shit that was going around. We got blocked by Gmail, blah, blah, blah. We finally got that fixed. And my boss set up a memo, basically, of best practices for email. Everybody had to sign that they received it.
Right.
Because we're not playing these type of games. This is your acknowledgement of what you should be doing. You need to sign this because I gave it to you.
Right.
The first step in the example of what I was just talking about is when I'm walking around telling people, here, this is yours, sign this paper stating that you received that. Wait, I got to read it first. No, you don't.
You don't.
You do not have to read it.
All you're saying is that you received it.
Right. The things in this little 3-page paper, they're not suggestions. It's not important. It's not important that you agree with them. That's not what the signature is
policy. And that signature is that you have received
that you got it.
Not that you
read it or don't.
Right.
It don't affect me.
Right. But
my job is to get your signature.
That's it.
That's what I'm here for. Well, no, you don't.
Why are we doing this?
I promise you don't. Not yet. It is not you. You ain't gonna hold me up. Now there are a couple people, and this is actually it's funny. This is an example where I shrink a little bit for my own well-being. A couple people that I don't really fuck with, I wasn't necessarily able to convince them that they don't need to read it before they sign it.
Right.
Fine. I'll sit down. I get paid by the hour. I'll sit down and wait for you. Right. Fine. But beyond that, once that step was done, and I'm out, and I'm saying to a person, "Hey, did you do your email signature? What's that? You don't remember that paper that you signed for that you received? So you never read it. I didn't tell you to never read it. So you just never read it. Where's your copy? Pull that out. Oh, you can't find it. Huh. All right. Well, this is awkward.
This is awkward.
The directions for what I'm talking about were the very last piece of that paper.
Right.
So you can't just tell me? No, I don't know it. It's on the paper. I gave you the directions.
Right.
Yeah, I gave you the directions already. So what do you? Anyway, moving on. This is another thing. It could be worse. It could be worse, and I have it worse than you are not the same thing.
Wait, say that again.
People need to understand. This is a PSA. People need to understand this. It could be worse, and I have it worse than you are not the same thing. They are not.
Right, they're not.
If somebody is telling you about a bad time that they're having or something that they experience negative, it could be worse. Isn't even it's not even the preferred way that you go about addressing it. Yeah. But I can see using that. That
make them feel better to say
I can get it could have been right. Yeah. At no place, at no time is that ain't nothing. That's not helpful. In no circumstance is that ain't nothing. That's not helpful. Yeah, it's never helpful. Like that is one of the most selfish things.
It is. If they're being inconvenienced, it don't matter what's happening. They're telling you, I got inconvenienced with this bullshit here. The most you could say is, "Man, it's fucked up." Like
right.
That's it. Like why do you have to?
What the fuck are we doing? Yo, I had to dig in one of my friends for that shit. Cause let's use a random example. Pills. So if I tell you that I have to take 7 pills a day and I don't like that shit.
Right.
The valid response from my friend is not, well, shit, that's nothing. I got to take 14. Okay, good for you, but I still don't like taking 7.
Right.
Like, what the fuck?
That doesn't change the fact that me taking 7 is trash.
What are we doing here?
And also, you can't even go off. You can't necessarily just go off the number because pills have different effects.
I'm so happy that you said that.
Because I might only take one, but it fucks me up all day.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No matter what the situation is, pills, whatever the case may be, just because you think that these things might correlate doesn't mean that they have the same weight.
Nah.
You might have a different, in one way you might have more, but mine might have a greater effect on me.
Yeah, because there are certain medications you can take where you can take like a cocktail of 14 of them, and they don't really affect you negatively through the course of the day. But then there are other, like you take one and you're drowsy, or it gives you fucking diarrhea, or it makes your fucking nose super stuffy so you can't breathe out of your shit. Like, and that's from one pill. That's one pill fucking you up. You know,
you still got 5 more to take.
Right, you still got 5 more motherfuckers to take and shit. You know,
that's like, yo. So please, if y'all actually are if y'all actually care about a person, please stop doing that shit. That shit is not helpful. It doesn't. It's not helpful at all. It doesn't do anything positive. Another thing, before I get into the main thing, just another PSA. The apology needs to be as loud as the infraction. It has to be. It has to be.
I agree with that, actually.
If you have any integrity, if you have any well-meaning in your interactions with these people or whatever the case may be, the apology has to be as big as loud as upfront as intrusive as the infraction, because otherwise you're kind of just being a dick. Like, if you do something to offend someone that you know, and you end up in a back and forth about it, and then you finally realize, oh shit, I've done you a disservice in a way. You have to acknowledge it.
If you're a logical person. If you're a logical person, right? And we have to acknowledge that a lot of
decent person.
Yes.
If you care about this interaction that you're having, like the level on the square thing to do is to fucking acknowledge it. Like, you don't just
and then there's also the element of operating from an intellectually honest and an emotionally honest place, which I don't think a lot of people tend to do in modern times, because we live in a very transactional society.
That is very true. Like,
but I agree with you. I do agree with you about the
sometimes
infraction.
You'll be surprised. You'll be surprised about some of this shit. Like, you'll have a picture of what a person is in your mind, and then it'll be this one blind spot that one of you has, and it'll completely show you a different side through that interaction of that person that you didn't expect to see. And it's like, yo, what are we doing? I've always expected that you would be someone that had a little bit more integrity than the shit we just went through. And
right.
It doesn't always work that way. And it's like, what are we doing here? I personally feel like anybody that I deal with on a regular basis, anybody that I claim, any person that I claim, I feel like those are the times when my integrity is going to be the most intact, because there's a social contract between the two of us, and I want to uphold my end of that bargain.
Right.
And everybody doesn't feel that way. And I think we, at some points, try so hard to be so many other things that we fail to just be decent to each other.
Yeah.
Like, being decent should be the bare minimum. Like, being decent isn't going out of your way.
But let me ask you this question: Who instills that particular lesson at the earliest impressional stage?
That is a great question. I think it depends on the situation, right? So, if we're talking about something like, I think it depends on who you're talking to, who you're dealing with, who you're interacting with, right? If Tim and I aren't as close as we are, but we are aware of each other, and I know who he is, I'm not going to do anything to him that's like a mad dog type thing. Like, I'm not going mad dog or big dog him in any type of way, because I'm aware of who he is. Like, I know that is a trigger for him, and that's not some shit that he just lets slide.
Right.
So, but in a different situation, and if I'm not that close to the person, but I know them, I'm aware of them, I might mistakenly let something like that slip, because either you're not that person, or I don't know enough about you to know if you are that person. So
I'm lost.
I'm talking about, what I started off with is the apology needs to be as loud as the infraction.
Okay. All right.
So, yeah. So, like integrity.
You know what's interesting when you say that? I was trying to think of an instance where that would not be the case, and I can't come up with one.
Because here's the thing. Depending on what our relationship is, you may not expect an apology. If we have a relationship such that we aren't that cool, we aren't that close, we aren't, whatever the case may be, any of our interactions may potentially lead to anything.
Facts.
And you might not expect, because of our lack of closeness, you may not expect me to apologize. You might not expect me to show my integrity in that situation. You may not think that that's something that I owe you. But in any situation where we do have this type of rapport.
We have a rapport.
Yeah, like, I feel like I owe you integrity.
Right.
And if I feel like I owe you integrity, I absolutely feel like you owe me integrity.
And I'm also assuming, based on a relationship, that you have that, because I would not fuck with somebody who didn't.
That part.
We wouldn't be close like that if I didn't feel like you had that sort of integrity. Because I have been around my fair share of shit heels.
Yeah,
I know don't have that and I don't expect it from them. And that's why the odds of certain things escalating to a bad point increase with these type of people, because I already know they on that bullshit. So I decrease my amount of time around these people.
Yeah.
You keep that from, because it's going to get there, because I know what kind of asshole this person is. And I know what I'm willing to tolerate and what I'm not willing to tolerate. So it's a cost benefit analysis. You got to realize, all right, now if I'm in the vicinity of this person for a specific amount of time, they're going to be what I know they are. And they're going to violate something that I feel like should not be violated without me tapping your chin, right? So I'm staying away purposely, because I don't need any lawsuits, charges filed against me, or just the overall inconvenience that comes with a conflict escalating to that point. I got other shit I'm trying to do with my life and time than me rolling around with you on the ground, you know what I'm saying? And all of that bullshit. So that's why a lot of times there's people that I do stay the fuck away from, because I know that our shit don't mix. Because you gonna do, or you gonna say something that's gonna make me stomp you out, right? Or get bloody in the attempt. You know what I'm saying? So it's not worth us being in that close vicinity or spending a bunch of time. That's why,
absolutely,
if I tell somebody I don't fuck with him, if you know me, you know what that means.
Right.
You know what that means. So there should never be a case where you put me in a situation where I have to be around this motherfucker, because you know I don't fuck with him. So, and then if it jumps off, because they do exactly what I know their personality dictates to do, and I respond exactly like you know me to respond, you can't then come at me later like, yo, but man, we was just trying to, B, I told you I don't fuck with them. So you put me in that situation, that person was being themselves, and I was being myself, right?
I was being myself.
You know what I'm saying? You can't come at me later about how, yo, you wrong. I had friends growing up that I knew were not friends of one another, and It went further than that. They don't really fuck with each other. So there was never times where me and one of these people were going out somewhere that I'm going to invite the other person along.
Right.
Never going to do that. Because then it's on me if the person agrees to come because they're doing it for me. That's my man's. Yeah, that's my man's. That's my man's. They don't fuck with each other. If I put them together, I'm inviting turmoil. I'm inviting.
That's an absolute no unless you can control the situation.
Facts.
If you can control the situation, all right, fine. But other than that, nah.
I'm sure.
Yo.
Oh, I was going to say this. I'm sure both you guys have friends that you guys keep from other friends.
Yes, bro.
Like I got a whole set of friends I keep from these whole set of friends because they would never get each other. Yeah.
Here's the thing. If you're going to set yourself up for pleasant surprises.
Facts.
Don't set yourself up for negative surprises.
For shit exploding in your face.
Yes, nah.
I have been in situations, bro. I have been in somebody's attic while motherfuckers guns with each other. Like, yo, chill the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, that shit is not. And I think too, it's also about with some people. It depends on what your life was like and how far you've seen things escalate. Some people haven't seen things escalate to that degree. That, to be honest, something my brother Marlon told me a long time ago. We were sitting on the porch, some gunshots went off, and we sitting there debating on what type of gun it was. And Marlon just offhandedly said, yo, you know that's not normal. In normal situations in the neighborhood, when gunshots go off, motherfuckers like, oh my, this is, what's happening? Instead,
we gotta move.
We're conditioned from living in this place to react to this a certain type of way. Everybody's not like that. Everybody's not. Right. So some people legitimately don't realize how bad a situation can get because they've never seen it escalate to that point. But when you've seen it, when you've seen motherfuckers jumping out of windows to avoid getting shot, when you've seen stuff like that, you start to know. You like, yo, nah, I'm not gonna let this happen because I know where this could go, and then I'm responsible because I know I knew, and I still let it go on. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is with that.
Facts. All right. So this main thing is a little bit of a continuation from last week, because of the nature of the show last week. I didn't want to. I wanted to continue to be loose throughout the show. So I just let that be what it was. But also, there's another thing. This Tiffany Haddish and Aries Spears thing.
Oh, yikes.
Yikes. So I want to read the actual article. But before I get to the article. So I've mentioned them before. I have a really, really deep love-hate relationship with this YouTube channel called Comedy Hype.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I just want to say, and I know that this some people would consider this sexist, so I'm going to try to say it in the least sexist way that I can. That nigga Pierre, I'm not talking about physical altercations. I'm not talking about real life. I'm talking about media life.
Right.
He's a bitch. Like, I watched 2 videos, right? I watched 2 videos. I watched 2 videos from them about this Aries Spears and Tiffany Haddish thing. And there was a clear difference between these 2 videos. In the first one, it was Pierre, it was Capone, it was the normal host, and it was some writer for the platform. And in this video, he was heavily on Tiffany and Aries' side. He was, you should. Why? Where was the parents at? Where's the parents at?
Yo, I hate the deflection.
No, wait. I know. Where was the parents at? Where's the parents at? You ain't no real parents. Why aren't you there in this room with every scene, watching what's going on.
We can have that conversation, but we're not talking about that now. We're talking about what these motherfuckers did.
And I know Aries and Tiffany personally. They not no pedophiles and blah blah this and blah blah that. And the writer, this is my assumption, who I assume doesn't have as much power over there as Pierre and Capone, who are always there. They are personalities for the channel.
Right.
She seemed a little timid. You could tell that she was bothered by the situation.
Right.
You can tell that she absolutely was against what the fuck happened with Tiffany and Eric. You could tell.
Yeah.
But she also did seem a little bit timid. And in that position, I can't blame her.
Right.
Because if they got more stroke than you,
and you're prioritizing your position there.
Yeah, you kind of defer to them a little bit. Like, she was giving a little pushback, but he was adamant. No, blah, blah, this, blah, blah, this. This part was funny. This part was funny. Overall, it wasn't funny overall. Blah, blah. And it was one type of energy. It was one type of energy. The second video, Capone wasn't there.
Yeah.
And it was some black woman comedian. Her name escapes me. I can't remember her name.
Right.
But she was digging in Aries' ass. She called Tiffany Haddish slow. She did not hold back at all. Interestingly enough, with this black woman comedian who does not work for the channel, as far as I know, Pierre Energy was a little bit different. A little bit different. It seemed like he was actually listening to what this black woman, because she was loud and
she was saying what she was saying.
Uncompromising.
I said what I said. Yeah, she was on that shit.
Right.
I said what I said.
And I'm like, yo, what? Nothing changed. Nothing about the story changed between these two videos.
Right.
But your energy
it's changed. That shit shifted.
Is way different. Like now you're receptive to they were dead wrong.
Yeah.
No, I don't. And because the host asked her about some of the things that they were talking about in the previous video, and she's like, "Who gives a fuck where the parents were? That's not what this is about. Tiffany was apparently this woman's close friend.
Wasn't she like the godmother or something to those kids?
Children called her auntie.
Yeah, like, come on, B.
She is now the de facto parent in the situation.
The narrative that those that want to defend that bullshit are using is that they're using it like, why you leave these kids with these strangers? Tiffany wasn't a stranger to these kids.
Not a stranger.
Tiffany wasn't a stranger to these kids. They was literally calling her auntie. So,
and what's crazy is most of the perpetrators in these situations aren't strangers to the kids.
Facts.
The vast majority.
Facts.
The vast, and even crazier, the skit, the guys of the skit was a PSA. The fucking moral of the story was, you can't just leave your kids with anybody. He was her fucking uncle. You get the parallel here?
Yeah.
The kids call her auntie. In the skit, Aries was the uncle.
Yeah, it's bro, when I saw that, because remember, I was still in a Dragon Con, and I called in on the show, and I saw what y'all talking about. And I was like, when I saw what they were talking about with that shit, I was like, so nobody, there was no voice of reason somewhere going, this is no,
it's too much.
This is cringe. There was nobody saying. And to me, I feel like some of you motherfuckers got to stop being weak sauce. Bruh. In the moment.
Bruh.
Like, you know that you can't. You all didn't look at this, read the script, and see what they was suggesting be done with these kids. And nobody said
to convince me, yo. Yeah.
Seriously, that's the thing. That's that part right there.
All right, so let me read through this article. During their childhoods, Jane Doe and her younger brother say they called Tiffany Haddish Auntie Tiff. The comedian had met their mother through the comedy circuit and used to refer to the siblings as her niece and nephew. But in a lawsuit filed on Monday night, in which Jane is an anonymous plaintiff on behalf of both herself and her brother, who was a minor, the siblings allege that Haddish and her fellow comic Ari Spears recruited each of them to perform inappropriate acts on camera when they were children. Jane Doe, now 22, and her younger brother John, who was 15, have adopted pseudonyms due to their respective ages at the time of the allegations. The siblings' complaint, which names Haddish and Mad TV alum Spears as defendants, centers on 2 alleged incidents in which Haddish and Spears allegedly encouraged one of the siblings to perform sexually suggestive acts on camera while underage. Representatives for Spears and Haddish did not respond at the time. Jane was 14 years old when her alleged video shoot took place, and John was 7. Their mother alleges that she and Haddish had met through comedy and bonded over a shared source of strife. We were both going through a divorce, the mother said. Messy, 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 messy divorces. We just got really, really super duper close. According to the lawsuit, Haddish called the family for every birthday and every Christmas. The siblings' mother noted that for years, Haddish reliably checked in, whether that be from a movie set or overseas, wherever she was. In the summer of 2013, when Jane was 14 years old, the lawsuit states that she attended a comedy camp where Haddish appeared as a guest speaker. Around that time, Haddish allegedly told the child that she'd found a perfect role for her very own commercial. Neither Jane nor her mother knew that what the shoot would entail, according to the lawsuit. Only Haddish and Spears, who was also on hand to produce the video, are said to have known the plot. The clip Spears and Haddish asked Jane to watch in the recording booth allegedly seemed innocuous at first, if a little strange. A group of co-eds were arguing over a Subway sandwich, but then the co-eds began eating the sandwich in a suggestive manner from opposite ends, moaning and making sexual noises as they both ate the sandwich in a manner that simulated the act of fellatio. The complaint claims that Spears told Jane to mimic what she had seen on screen, including the noises, precisely like what she heard throughout the video. She said that she was nervous and disgusted, and she fell silent until Tiffany returned to the room. Tiffany was verbally explained what was expected of the plaintiff, and then showed the plaintiff how to give fellatio, including movements, noises, moaning, and groaning. At that point, Jane says, I knew 100% what they wanted out of me. The lawsuit describes Spears allegedly looking on while a physically, emotionally, and mentally uncomfortable Jane received this instruction. I tried to mimic what they wanted me to mimic, but I still came out just super uncomfortable. I knew when I left the booth that I didn't complete what they wanted me to do. Haddish paid Jane $100, the lawsuit claims, before sending her home. At the time, Jane said she tried to shrug off what happened. I didn't confide to my mom. I didn't confide to anybody else how weird I felt at that moment. A year later, Tiffany allegedly approached the children's mother with a similar pitch, recruiting the little boy for another video. Although the comedian allegedly told the family John would be filming a sizzle reel for Nickelodeon, the suit alleges that the 7-year-old boy wound up starring in a video posted on Funny or Die and other online platforms.
So basically, she misrepresented with the, seriously?
Right.
Really? So you basically went and you told them up Nickelodeon, y'all, the kiddie shit with all the Nickelodeon, and then
right.
All right, we see you.
Representative for Funny or Die told the Daily Beast in a statement, Funny or Die found this video absolutely disgusting and would never produce such content. We were not involved with the conceptualization, development, funding, or production of this video.
Niggas running.
It was uploaded to the site. Bruh! It was uploaded to the site as user-generated content and was removed in 2018, immediately after we became aware of its existence.
How long was it on there?
From 2014 or 2015.
Nigga,
3 years.
Running.
Now, okay, two things.
Running.
Two things can be true, right?
Yeah,
all right, so it is possible that back then, the site that Funny or Die was, it is possible that the people running the site overlooked it. It's possible. I don't know how likely it is.
But your responsibility is not to. I'm just saying it's
right.
It's possible, right? That the electrician overlooked that wire that was
this stray wire.
Right? It's possible he overlooked it. He ain't see it, but it's your job to though.
It's damn sure his job
It's your
to
job.
notice there. All right, both siblings
can't miss
allegedly
that.
attended. No, both siblings allegedly attended the shoot, which the lawsuit claims took place in Spears' home. Jane said Haddish's behavior changed once the children arrived at the home, no longer in the company of their mother. It was like a whole 180 almost. Tiffany had never been mean to me, never raised her voice to me until this point. According to the lawsuit, the children were separated during the shoot. Jane recalls that Haddish told her to remain on a couch downstairs while her brother's shoot took place upstairs. The Daily Beast has reviewed a recording of the video in which Haddish plays the boy's guardian and leaves him with Spears, who plays the pedophile. John spends most of the video clad only in his underwear. And now, hold on, just to be clear, this part, there is no conjecture. That's proof. The video was released. Some of us have seen this video, well, parts of it. So, John spends most of the video clad only in his underwear as Spears' character leers at him through two holes cut into a newspaper he pretends to read. During the sketch, the camera zooms in suggestively on the 7-year-old's buttocks and crotch while he plays. Spears sprays baby oil onto the child's back and massages it into his shoulders in one scene. And at another point, the child plays with a train in a manner that suggests phallic masturbation. In another sequence, Spears smokes a cigarette while observing the child nude in a bathtub and pours water on his feet. By the time the video ends, the child is peering at his babysitter through a newspaper and rubbing baby oil on his shirtless shoulder. The final line on-screen text reads, "Watch who you leave your kids with." Once filming ended, the lawsuit states, Mr. Doe called his mother crying, saying he did not want to film anymore. When her brother came downstairs, Jane recalled he was red in the face, crying his eyes out, just bawling in tears. And I'm immediately scared because I didn't know what happened to him. When that happened, the only thing I could feel was how I felt in my video with Tiffany. I didn't know at the time if anything happened with him like what happened to me, but I just felt like something wasn't right with that moment. The sibling's mother was immediately alarmed when she received the phone call from her crying son, and the answers she allegedly received from Haddish did little to reassure her. She said something to the effect of, "I don't think acting is for him." And I'm like, what the F you mean acting isn't for him? My son is crying. What is going on? The sibling's mother allegedly spent the next week contacting Spears and asking to see the footage. Spears allegedly kept repeating that it had not yet been edited. Eventually, the lawsuit states, Spears claimed John had been so uncooperative that his footage had been deemed unusable and subsequently deleted. 4 years later, however, the gossip website Gossip published an article about Spears that described the sketch. It was then, for the first time, that John's mother said she became aware of what had actually been filmed. All the trauma, all the memories, all the anxiety and depression and guilt and shame and fear, I feel like all those emotions were triggered when this video situation came to a head, she said. To find out that she had violated such a sacred trust, I trusted her with my children. That is what pushed me over the edge. Both Jane and John continue to live with the trauma of what they endured, the lawsuit states. Jane allegedly struggles to trust people and has developed a social disorder that prevents socializing. She feels constant remorse knowing that she was only a few feet away when Spears was molesting her 7-year-old little brother in the other room. As Jane put it, I don't date guys. I don't have sex. I'm not your regular 22-year-old who's partying, having fun, and hooking up and stuff. Her little brother, meanwhile, allegedly places Band-Aids over the cameras on all of his electronics due to an ongoing fear of being watched and recorded. The lawsuit lists 8 causes of action. Spears and Haddish are both accused of intentional infliction of emotional distress, gross negligence, sexual battery, sexual harassment, and sexual abuse of a minor. Haddish is further accused of negligent supervision / failure to warn, breach of fiduciary duty, and constructive fraud. The lawsuit seeks general and special damages as well as any appropriate statutory damages. Jane took over as John's guardian around the end of 2019 or the start of 2020 due to a cascading series of traumatic personal issues that impacted her mother's mental and physical health. She has also enrolled both herself and brother in therapy, according to the lawsuit. Including in the complaint is a statement John Doe wrote during his treatment saying that the pedophile sketch fucked me up bad. I don't got no friends. I don't trust nobody. I'm scared of adults. I refuse to be recorded or take pictures because I'm scared of weird-ass adults trying to do nasty stuff to me again. I spend all of my time in my room and do not go anywhere because I don't trust anybody. He adds later, I had to kick and scream and cry, and Tiffany came and told me to let him touch me. When I kept crying, Tiffany got mad at me, told me to get dressed, and took me home. I remember her yelling at me in the car, telling me that I would never get on TV acting like that. I know now that they are fucked up for what they did to me, and none of this is my fault. The siblings' mother negotiated a settlement in 2019, the lawsuit states, but that agreement allegedly does not bind Haddish, who the complaint alleges insinuated she wanted no parts of the Spears settlement agreement via text, or the siblings, who had no guardian ad litem present to represent their interests as minors. In the settlement document, which the Daily Beast has reviewed, Spears denies the validity of the claims regarding the video's production and distribution, but agrees to stop the distribution, exhibition, and further use of the video. The document names Spears, the siblings' mother, and John. Jane does not appear. The siblings' mother also filed a police report against Spears and Haddish in January of 2020, but nothing apparently came of it. The Daily Beast has reviewed a copy of the report. For months, I used to sit in my closet and cry until I fell asleep, the mother said. I would literally wake up on the floor in my closet because I didn't want the kids to hear me crying. She almost attempted suicide at one point, she said, but was interrupted when her son asked her for help making breakfast. I wanted Tiffany to see the error of her ways, and I wanted her to do the right thing as far as helping with the therapy and with the kids and stuff, but the way she just got real Hollywood on us, this was not the same friend that had been a friend to me. In that moment,
yes, it was. You just didn't see that side.
Yeah, I was going to say that real Hollywood shit. You knew what that was.
Yeah. In the moment, Jane said it became clear to the family that all we've really got is each other, and the common goal is to make sure that John is okay. The family has since made it their mission to heal together, in part through family therapy sessions, addressing everything, unpacking everything, forgiving each other. For years, Jane has lived with the regret of not being able to protect her younger brother, however unfair to her younger self that feeling might be. Now, however, things are different. As an adult, I have the power to protect my little brother now and have the power to do something about what happened to him. And that's what my goal is to get done. Just to show my little brother that, hey, I am so sorry I wasn't able to protect you and be there for you then, but this is how I'm showing up for you now. There's an update.
You know what bothers me about a lot of that shit too? Like currently, so Aries won't talk about it. But I just saw his bitch ass.
He did say something. He said something about it. I don't have it, but he did say something about it. I can't. Because it was not remarkable enough for me to.
Yeah, he was going in on Faison. You talking about Faison and all that other shit, right? But you ain't, man.
Yeah. There's an update. Tiffany released a statement. She admitted Monday that an inappropriate sketch described in a lawsuit as pedophile themed happened, and that she regrets taking part. I know people have a bunch of questions. I'm right there with you, she said. Unfortunately, because there's an ongoing legal case, there's very little I can say right now.
No questions. Why? She said she has questions too? No, you're not doing it. That's that distancing yourself from the shit like you wasn't like intimately involved. Nah, B.
But clearly, while the sketch was intended to be comedic, it wasn't funny at all, and I deeply regret having agreed to act in it. I really look forward to being able to share a lot more about the situation as soon as I can.
We not gonna sit here and act like. Look, she said, I wish I hadn't agreed to act in it, as if you weren't part of the production of this by going and getting the kids, and then yelling at the kids because they did. No, B, we not doing. I was just the actor. I was just sitting here, and a contract came across my desk to do this. No, we not doing that. We not doing that.
Yeah, bro.
We not doing that.
That falls one step short of like I was just following orders.
I was just following orders.
I don't give a fuck like that. There's certain things that no commanding officer could ever order me to do.
Right, bro. Right.
But I order you to go mess with them kids. Respectfully,
no, bro. right. Like what the fuck?
Can you imagine that though? Like, you using that. I was just following orders. You got the kids. You
got the
sat
kids.
in there and
they still try Nazis.
Right,
Bruh.
I was just following orders.
My thing I mentioned last week when I was on here with Eddie and Jaded was, how the fuck does this even come about? Like, because we at first we talked about how the fuck. All right, so you acted in it. These two adults. There was a camera person. There was an editor. What is going to, like, what is happening? What? All of these people had to see. And I said, also, I have really deep experience editing videos. When you edit a video, you don't watch it once.
Hey, bro.
Shut up.
Let's not undersell that.
Shut up.
Absolutely hate editing.
Yes, I do. When you edit a video, you don't watch it once.
No.
You could watch that video a dozen times.
Or more, depending on which.
How did the editor, whoever edited it, even if it was Aries, whoever fucking edited it, how do you watch this video over and 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 over again and think that it's okay?
Yeah.
No, Cindy. There's no need to describe the actual. Yeah, no, we're not doing that again. Here's what Aries had to say. Aries spoke publicly for the first time about the lawsuit he and Tiffany Haddish are facing over video sketches in which they allegedly had two minors perform sexually suggestive acts. All right, here's the thing. Before I finish this, I understand the purposes of media, and effectively we are media,
Right.
using the word allegedly. I get that when it's appropriate.
Right.
I want to be clear that paragraph that I just read is cap. It's bullshit.
We know
They did not allegedly
we know what happened. Yeah.
minors perform sexually suggestive
There's video
acts.
footage.
The
Like,
video exists.
Yeah, like
Right.
we're not doing that. We're not doing that.
There's the video exists. No, you should not watch. Everybody that I've talked to, and
Don't go
the
watch
video.
that shit.
The video the link that I saw, that the video's gone now, and the reason I know that is because I was talking to Chris, and she was like, "What happened?" She's like, she was clueless. So I told her the same thing I told y'all in the chat. I said, "Look, here's the link. If you want to look at the link to confirm,
Right.
you're not going to be able to get through all of it."
Right.
She clicked on the link. When she clicked on the link, it had been taken down. So I don't know. It's the internet. There are obviously still copies out there somewhere, but whatever. All right. So this is what Aries said. Listen, this is an extortion case. This is a shakedown.
Really?
Wait. This is an extortion case. This is a shakedown. We won't be shaken down.
Who's we?
Him and Tiffany. So that's basically what he said. Now, going back to that video, that second.
I think
video
that's
with
an
Pierre.
inappropriate response, considering the fact that there's video of the crime.
Well, here's the thing. Going back to that other video where Pierre was bitching up, the black woman that was on there, because they played Aries' comments. The black woman that was on there was like, well, here's the thing about that. Two things can be true. It could be possible that they're trying to shake you the fuck down. But we already know that parts of this are 100% true because the fucking video exists. Two things can be true. They could be trying to fleece you for all the money that they can possibly fleece you for, and you did this thing.
My thing about that is, though, I take umbrage with the idea, like the terminology. You two violated.
I'm glad you said that.
Y'all violated. So this is punitive. We're talking.
But wait. I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said the terminology, because in this video, Pierre tried to get his balls back. He was talking about how, because somebody brought up the difference between jail and monetary restitution, and Pierre was something to the effect of, yeah, it's crazy how when in these types of situations, when the people get the money, they shut up. And so everybody forgets about it. So She says, who gives a fuck? Who cares what happens after they get the money? Yeah, if you did some shit like that to me, I want money too. Fuck the bullshit. Yeah. You being in trouble, it is something that hurts you. He was presenting it as if the money is not a punishment.
That's bullshit.
Now, depending on who you are and how little the fines are, it could be a small punishment.
Right.
It's still a punishment. It's still
punitive.
An award. Right. It's still an award.
It's funny how this works, right? Because motherfuckers will chase ambulances all day. Motherfuckers will get in car accidents or whatever like that, and whatever. And nobody has a problem in that. We're literally talking about the abuse of minors, right? Yes. And you're telling me that all of a sudden the parent is morally compromised because she's trying to get money. No, we're not doing that. We not, because you motherfuckers will do that with any sort of a fender bender. If a company say you went and bought some food from somewhere that was in a package thing, and you opened it up and there was a razor blade in that shit, you're going to sue for the fucking
the McDonald's coffee is too high.
McDonald's coffee,
right?
You motherfuckers. So we're not going to do that when it comes to kids being violated. No, not only should you pay as far as going to jail or some other shit, but you need to pay out of your pocket too, fool. Because what you're not going to do is come home to a Scrooge McDuck pile of money after you did that shit. Nah, we're gonna cut into that. We're gonna cut into that.
When you dive into that fortune, you're gonna be falling a little bit more because it's gonna be a little less in there.
It's gonna be a little lower.
That.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a little lower. It's a little lower than it was before. And here's the thing, to be clear, this lawsuit does not involve the mother. The older sister is an adult now, and she has custody of the brother. This is her lawsuit. The first lawsuit involved the mother. Right. And I wasn't clear about the article. I don't know if he didn't pay or whatever the case may be. But also other lawyers have been like disregarding and not taking the case. Like this wasn't a situation. Two things that this was not. This was not a situation where they just saw how big Tiffany is now and saw that Aries is still in the spotlight and decided they wanted to come up. Right. That's not this.
Right.
The other thing that it is not, and nothing is wrong with this when it does happen, this isn't somebody that got abused when they were 10 and is bringing it up when they're 30.
Right.
Again, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, and you and I both know of a guy in Baltimore who was abused by a priest when he was a little boy and came back and got his ass when he was an adult. Shot the shit out of him.
Absolutely.
So nah.
So nothing's wrong with that, but realize that one of the people we're talking about is currently still a fucking teenager.
Yeah.
Like barely a teenager.
Yeah.
He's 15. No, we're not doing that.
Yo, that shit is so fucking foul. But I think I always question the motivations of people seeking to deflect and take the heat and the onus off of the person that committed the actual thing. And especially with stuff like this, because I always start to feel like, bro, you defending yourself or something?
Right.
Like what's preventing you from going hard for these kids? Why are you doing the opposite where you're trying to really minimize are you defending yourself? What just want to know, not that you have to tell me, is there some fucking
something in your closet
skeletons and bones that now because it seems like you're trying to further a certain
you're going a little bit too hard.
Yeah, you're trying to further a narrative that will protect you if some shit comes out about some shit you pull. And that's not always the case. Sometimes there are people just being completely obtuse about some shit, right? But a lot of times with a lot of these situations, I'll be looking at motherfuckers, and then it's always funny to me because then later on down the line, another conversation will come up individually about that person, and you'll see this conversation will spark another conversation, and they'll bring up some shit that they have themselves engaged in, and then you go, that's why your ass is on this side of this conversation because you have engaged in that shit and you don't want the narrative out there that people that have done what you have done have violated in any type of way. So you try and cushion it. I see you.
I'm trying not to like cough all over the goddamn show and everything. Bro, but I do have a point to piggyback on top of that. I think what happens is a lot of people are afraid that the narrative that is created through that scrutiny has overlapping effects into the camps that they may feel comfortable with. And so it's like, it's easy when it's like a political adversary or somebody you don't like when it comes out against them. But what if it's somebody on your political side?
Right.
What if it's somebody who,
even somebody you know personally?
Yeah, or somebody that you know personally. A lot of times it's, you find that people won't go as hard because they feel like, well, we have somebody like that on our side, and if the shit basically came out, it would really undermine our position because this person was a known pedophile or this person was a known, whatever. They got bad paperwork, whatever that bad paperwork is. And so I feel like there's a lot of people.
I like that phrase too. Bad paperwork.
Oh yeah, it's all bad paperwork. We
sometimes you gotta pull a motherfucking jacket.
Yeah, you can't be on this yard.
That's some hood shit. Like motherfuckers, look, that's some hood shit. That's some hood shit right there. Like I know a lot of people not going.
We all got to be on this. We all got to be on this cell block together, right?
Yeah.
I'm checking everybody's paperwork.
Yeah, like nah, B.
You can't be here.
That's some hood shit. But motherfuckers,
you gotta lock it up.
Motherfuckers is not from that. They don't understand the reference. Let me put it in the way you understand. Somebody moves on the block. And they are a convicted sex assault,
SO,
whatever. SO, like it's that same type of vibe right there. Like you got bad paper on you, homie. Fuck you doing over here? Like, no, we not.
Can't be here.
Yeah, it's the same with the whole.
And the sad thing is back in the day, you really didn't get warnings and shit like that. Now there's a stigma behind that. Now it's like, now people have gotten so comfortable with the shit. You're starting to see this shit where. And this is a term that a lot of people don't really like, but I think it's appropriate for this story. There's a lot of grooming that goes on.
Bro.
It's a fact.
And I know that's an off, a word that certain political sides aren't supposed to use or whatever, but it's like motherfuckers be getting groomed.
Yo, let me tell you
something. That's exactly what this would have been.
That's what it would have been.
If it didn't go as badly for Aries as it did, that's what this would have been.
And here's my thing, right? Here's my thing with that. Like that term that turns some people off from a political standpoint. To me, it's not about the term; it's about how it's wielded. If we're talking about an actual case of fucking grooming, that's what it is, B. We not gonna sit here and act like that's not what it is.
No,
It's too much. Yeah, we get it. Some people will take terms and wildly misuse them to the point where they lose utility. We get that, but this is an actual case.
No, this is actually what it is.
Like this is what's going on. So I'm not shying away from that. I'm standing 10 toes down on that. And I feel like if you can't stand 10 toes down on defending children, fuck kind of motherfucker is you? What kind of motherfucker is you? That make me look at you crazy.
Absolutely.
Like, because we know something Graydon said earlier. 9 times out of 10, the people involved in these sort of situations are people that the children know.
Yes. Because think realistically. How many situations would you actually have the child around a stranger for that long?
Right, facts.
It's not that likely. Usually it's going to be somebody that is trusted because they need the space and the opportunity.
Yeah. It's a soft target.
Yeah.
Why would he go out there and attempt, or he or she go out there and attempt some kid they don't know? What's the odds of them getting away with that shit,
right?
Or even being able to pull it off for real, right? Because we done taught our kids about stranger danger. But this ain't a stranger.
Nope.
This somebody that the kid already trusts as part of the family or friend of the family or whatever. They don't see the person as an immediate threat or the person that could do something. And I'm gonna tell you, y'all, motherfuckers don't really get it. But this happens a lot. And it's happened to people that it's probably 5 or 6 people that you know personally with some shit like that took place with them when they were kids. They just haven't said nothing about it. They just haven't said it. And you would never expect it of them, right? That's not what you would think. But
Right.
they've been holding that shit in for years. Holding it for years, not saying nothing. And I don't like the idea of when motherfuckers say, well, it happened to me and I'm just fine. We don't know that shit.
Yeah, that's
whatever dysfunction in your life.
Right. Number one, we don't know if it actually happened to you or not.
Right.
Number two, we don't know that you're fine.
Yeah, how do we know that? I don't know that shit.
Yeah, I don't
know that shit.
know
I
that.
won't even
Fuck
go
you
around
mean?
telling motherfuckers that I'm fine just on a regular.
Right.
Because
But that's the other thing.
Sometimes
we don't know anything.
Yeah. We don't really know shit. So like, nah, B, like I'm quite sure that there are people that I've worked with, that I've made money with, that I've just met in passing, that have had these experiences and have had to squash all that shit down. You know what I'm saying? And not say shit about that. You know what I mean? Yeah. And when they hear situations like this in the news, I can see where it could be triggering. When you start hearing descriptions, that's why a lot of people think about it. That's why a lot of people, other than the cringe factor of hearing the description of that shit, that somebody who something similar like that has happened to. Yo, did any of you ever see that movie based on Maya Angelou's life? I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings.
No, I never saw it.
So it was an old movie. I would say like it came out in the 80s, early 80s or some shit like that. In this movie, something similar happened to Maya. It was the boyfriend of her mother, right? And the moms didn't want the boyfriend in their life anymore or whatever. So he went and did that to Maya, right? So Maya went and told her uncles. According to the movie, they found dude stretched somewhere in the water, somewhere, right? So she had it in her head that it was her uncles that did it, but it was kind of confirmed to her when she walked in the show, when she walked in the room after the news about they finding the guy dead and all this other shit. She looked it up, but all of her uncles, and they all gave her this knowing, we got you, and that made her not speak for years after. She didn't, because she's, according to the way they described it in the film, a word from her cost somebody their life, so she stopped speaking for a long time.
Yeah, I heard that.
Stopped speaking for a long time and shit. Like I said, it's typically somebody that the family knows and the child.
I mean, not just a little levity to that type of situation. That's some Black Bolt type shit, but
it is, bro.
That is funny. Yes,
when she starts speaking, woo,
yeah,
facts.
Absolutely
crazy, bro.
All of it is ridiculous. I don't understand how people can look at this situation, hear about what happened in the video, and be like, "Oh no, it was just a joke." Where's the joke?
Well, okay, so I got a question. I got a thing about that whole thing. Okay, so I'll tell you where the joke is, and I'm not saying that was a joke, but this is something that I really sticks in me for a different reason. But you ever meet the motherfucker who's like, "Yo, man, I got some funny shit to show you," right? He uses funny in a way where then he'll come and show you some like something real shitty, something fucked up. Be like, "Yeah, man, you see that shit's funny, huh?" And it's like some old lady getting stomped out by like 6 dudes or something.
Right.
And you're like, you look at this dude and you're like, "Bro, how are you using the word funny?" Right. And you start noticing how this person sees the world and the humor through which they see the world. All of a sudden, the shit that they find funny, they want to be out there when motherfuckers is fighting. "Oh yeah, I just want to see this shit, bro. This shit funny." Nah, man, I can't be around you. You the type of motherfucker that'd be at a house party that's gonna get shot up and think that shit is funny because you like to be around that type of shit.
No,
not me.
Nope,
not me. That's the type of motherfucker who would come to you with that video and be like, "You want to see some funny shit, bro?"
Yep.
That motherfucker.
Absolutely.
There's the joke for that motherfucker right there.
Because here's the thing. I don't know how I came across last week. Because, like I said, last week we were more freeform with it. But after having time to think about it, I want to be clear. And this is not a defense of Aries and Tiffany, but I want to be very clear that I'm not this doesn't necessarily mean that either of those people are pedophiles, right? Mm-hmm. What this means is, the first time I heard this term, I thought it was a gross underselling of what happened. Mm-hmm. But given what happened after it, I would say that this term applies here. Wanton endangerment. That's what this was at its core. Because
you know what the only catch to that is? Like, the purpose of that event was to do exactly what it did. Usually with wanton endangerment, it's something could happen. You're well aware that if this goes left, it could be whatever, but you taking your chances. They went in with the express script to put baby oil on kids.
That is but here's the thing. The part that I'm talking about is the psychological damage.
Could they not have known? How removed
you can't
from reality?
Like, when you live in a different world like that, you can be that.
We talked about social awareness. Social awareness.
Right.
Nothing about Aries' last 10, 15 years has shown me that he has any of it. Right. It's just I don't like giving pieces of shit benefits of the doubt. So I won't call this that. I'm believing who he's shown me to be.
What about
not
Tiffany?
In that?
Because she's involved in this.
I don't know enough
how she
about
tried
her.
To separate herself.
I haven't seen. She's absolutely a part of this.
Yeah,
I have not seen enough of her because, like I expressed on last week's episode, I'm not a fan of hers.
No, she's not funny.
So I've not seen as much of her outside of acting to have any idea on who she is. Aries, I've seen a lot of his social media stuff.
And also I was watching Aries on Mad TV years ago.
He was amazing on Mad TV.
Yeah,
but time changed. I was a fan of him back then, but after years and years of not doing anything of significance, that's good. Right. I'm no longer a fan of you.
And then you've heard
done for me lately.
You've heard certain commentary from him over the years too that has.
He be wilding.
He be wilding at times.
He be wilding.
And I think that's the other thing. One last thing on that. That's the other thing that's kind of ass is that people will find where he said something they agreed with,
right,
and use that to mask all the fuck shit he said.
All of the fuck shit.
Yeah, like nah, B.
There are scores of things that he said that are like, you really don't have any social awareness. Like, no, fuck it. No. We're not ending the show on this.
On that note. No.
All right. Here, this is the last thing. We got to talk about this. It's kind of like Dumbass of the Week, but I'll just play it. Wait, I don't need to share my audio. Because my audio is already being shared. I think.
You sure?
Hopefully this works. I don't know. I'm not, because I had this I didn't test. Y'all hear that?
I hear nothing.
You didn't hear anything at all?
I didn't hear anything.
God damn it. All right. All right, so everybody listening, if there's an echo after I do this,
I'm going to mute my shit, so.
No, it won't be you. Well, it might be you. But if there's an echo to the video that I'm about to play, after this, it's stream fault, just to be clear. Share screen, share audio.
Has made a show of going on a date. So this guy has made a show of going on a date with a woman from every state. And let me just show you why he's getting a lot of hate. I think it's fair to say that my guy has a type. But here's what really makes me mad. This is the girl he went on a date with from Hawaii. Like, sir, what you not finna do? You not finna play us, sir. You not finna play us, sir. Then this is the girl he went on a date with from New Mexico, who is actually, if you look on her Instagram, from Long Island. So, sir, if you have a type, you didn't even have to go across 50 states for that. Like, you really just dated the same girl in every single state. Like, I swear. Where is the seasoning? Let me know y'all thoughts in the comments because I'm feeling like this was unnecessary.
All right, so
this is dumb as shit.
Wait. God damn it! Stop burying the lead. So this was not. Remember, notice when I said this is a dumbass of the week. I didn't. There was no question mark. There was no question mark this time.
Dumbass.
No, this is dumbass. So the original tweet that I came across was somebody who quote tweeted this and said, "Hold on, shit, I can't remember it. I don't want to mess this up because it was very profound." This might be the worst example of a black person in history. So, for those that didn't quite get the subtext of what she's saying,
This is so stupid.
she is complaining that this white man was, mind you, turns out this was actually not true. It's not what happened. Mm-hmm. But regardless, she was complaining that this white man was dating a person in every state and all of them were white. And the claim being made is that if you have a specific type of person, then there was no point in you going to all these different states. Now,
That is the dumbest shit I've ever.
let's be clear about this, right? When you're talking about dating a person, that is a social interaction. Though some people try to do this, the harsh reality for some is you're not dating a person's looks. Simply, I am a black guy with dreads. If you went to California and saw a black guy with dreads, that doesn't make us the same person.
Right. Right.
That's not generally how human beings work. If you live in a place, that place has its own culture, has its own obstacles of the day. Mm-hmm. Right. Like,
and that does affect people's personalities and
bruh. This is an example of the performative shit.
Yeah.
That people like you and I get lumped into sometimes.
You know what's so crazy about that too? She had a nerve, the audacity, the ignorance to post a Hawaii thing as if white women don't live in Hawaii.
Right.
What are you talking about? Bruh. What are you talking about?
So I'm only assuming that she's half Samoan because she said us with the Hawaii thing. So I'm only assuming that this woman is half Samoan, half black. Yeah. But bruh, like, what
the fuck are you? Yo, and then you went and made a video with.
What is your actual complaint? Like, I know what your complaint is. I get it, but why?
He's not allowed to date other, like, a white woman. He's not allowed to. Is that what?
Apparently not.
Oh, if he goes to a different state. Yo, she said New Mexico as if.
Bro, yo,
what the
nigga? When I first heard that part, I was like, "Are you?
You're out of your
mind. You're weird.
You're out of your mind. You're a weirdo. You're a weirdo. She's a weirdo, and she better have got flamed. You're a weirdo.
I don't fully understand.
You know, I don't think you're supposed to.
Okay. All right. Cool.
You're not supposed to.
Cool.
You're not supposed to fully understand because this is ridiculous. Yo, some people got way too much time on their hands. Great. Remember we was at the presentation and we were talking about the lore.
Uh-huh.
And I think it was after we played one of the videos. And you said, which got laughter from the audience. So as you can see, me and Tombstone have way too much time on our hands. No, right. Bro, no. No. See, we're writing a story.
This girl
here has too much time on her fucking hands. She need a hobby. She need something. Like, look, run computers. Like, Like,
yo, she said New Mexico, as if it's not damn near the Midwest. Like what?
New Mexico.
What are we?
Is a state. What the fuck?
As if it's not basically Middle America, but a little with a little Mexican twang.
Because the word Mexico, the word
Mexico is in there.
What the fuck? What the fuck, bro? So if he had dated somebody from Alaska, they were supposed to be Eskimos.
Eskimos,
What are we talking about?
Absolutely.
What are we really saying?
No, you get it. You see, you act like you don't understand. You get it. You get it.
If he dated somebody from Chicago, they should be gangbanging. Like what?
Yes.
What are we talking?
Yes.
Bro, that is the dumbest. And she, wow. You know what's more interesting than that video she put out? How she spends her days. Like seriously, I would like to, like this is a thing.
That would be a better video for her to have put out.
Was that on TikTok?
I don't know if originally it was. What I just played it from was Twitter. Yo, that's stupid.
That was dumb as shit. McKenna said just about everyone has a type, and she made this video in a different context and basically calling herself out for assuming everyone from a region has a look. Right. Well, you called yourself out. You called yourself out with
Fappers.
So
flappers, okay?
Yo, Marissa's ass. Oh man!
Like
and
what did you actually? I
feel like I lost brain cells. I lost IQ points.
Yeah,
that shit right.
I've never seen a video, social media video, complaining about a white man dating white women.
Yo, that's the funniest shit. Damn. Now, Gray, I need you to send me some books, bro, because I got to get my IQ points back. Like, this shit.
I mean,
yikes. I know you got some Isaac Asimov over there.
Yeah, I got a couple joints for you.
Like, I just don't understand. Like, what?
This is dumb. This is the dumbest. You're not meant to understand. You know what? I think if you understood it, there'd be a problem. Like,
sure.
Yeah, it'd be a problem. Like, you're not meant to. That's just dumb.
But I has issues.
I know. I understand. Everyone has issues, but her issues dwarf all out. Her issues dwarf all of our issues. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's some now she might have a lawsuit with her education system. She might have a lawsuit.
Shit like that.
She might really, like, that shit ain't. That's not.
No,
I actually pity her, like, with that shit.
She couldn't have graduated from anywhere.
What? Oh, clown school or it's a hamburger college or some shit. She probably flip a good burger, but she did that video shit to other people, yo, was actually with something to say. And actually are making points about some shit, because that shit there is like that's ugly. Like, bruh. She should, matter of fact, that she should be banned from using video equipment ever again. Somebody take her phone and give her a flippy. Like, seriously, be like, she should not be doing this. That's disgusting. You know, content creators catch a lot of flack online, and some should, right? Some should, but I feel like that's an insult to content creators right there. Like, yo,
I do not disagree.
The fuck?
I ain't gonna hold you. I'm not gonna hold you. I don't disagree.
What are you doing? This was a whole new movement. More people watch content creators online than they do TV now, right? So it's like, this is disrespectful to the movement. I feel like, seriously, like,
I can't disagree with you.
This really,
I'm trying my best to find a flaw in what you're saying,
bro. Listen, you know how much time I spent in content creating over the last 12 years. To have to see some shit like this, a motherfucker get, and then she's gonna get hate views, right? So she's gonna get a lot of engagement off of just off of hate, like people just to roast her. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah,
like,
100%.
Shit is gross.
Now I saw somebody. I can't remember if they were trying to actually justify it or if they were like trying to play devil's advocate and try to understand. And their statement was, the argument could be made that she's fighting against the idea that black women aren't desirable. And
I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that. That's a stretch. Reaching, yo. That's a reach. I'm not trying. She's just a dumb. See,
because she didn't even mention that.
Sometimes you just gotta call a dumbass a dumbass, yo.
I agree.
You gotta call a dumbass a dumbass. Like, yo, that was dumb. Y'all trying to add extra sauce to this shit that's unnecessary. You know what I'm saying? Let that shit be dry.
I mean,
it was dry.
Nah.
Seasoning.
It needs some sauce. I ain't gonna hold you.
Yeah, that shit dry. Let that shit be dry, yo. It's dry. Call it dry. Somebody overcooked that steak, and it's whack. You know what I'm saying? It's whack. It's just whack. It tastes bad. And not filling. Did you get full off that? I didn't get full off that shit.
Nah, B. Not at all.
Whack, yo. Man, we gotta get up out of here. Let me thank everybody. That shit pissed me off. Let me thank everybody. That came to join us for another Saturday of shenanigans. Let me give a special shout out to Gray of Extropia.
Absolutely.
While I'm not a big fan of extropian delicacies, he at least is a good friend of mine from that race. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? Is there anything you trying to promote? You got another culture thing coming out?
No.
Deeper dive. None? Deeper dive?
No, here's the thing. There was supposed to be one tomorrow, but shit's been happening, my guy. Like, life, there's been so much
gets in the way.
going on.
I get it.
It's possible, but I ain't about to promise it. It's possible one might make it out tomorrow, but I don't know.
All right, cool. Well, I know Gray has something. Like Jonathan just pointed out, 16 days to the drop of City on the Type
Yeah, for the most part. I got City on the Type of Forever. I'm mixing and mastering right now. I thought I was gonna do a little finagling with the song, and I was gonna replace, but I'm probably not going to. It's just gonna remain as is. So it's looking like it's gonna be on date, and so on the 28th, that album should be out, and then I'm already working on Last of the Rhyme Lords. Somebody had asked me about some of the features on there that have been confirmed. So yeah, it should be pretty interesting to see where that goes in the next iteration of that album. But
absolutely,
yeah, City on the Type of Forever, September 28th, and then obviously we're going to be doing issue 1 of Extropy and Entropy. So
absolutely, that's going to be coming up. That Kickstarter will be coming up. Also, go check out my man Jay the Nerd's channel.
Yeah.
A lot of dope ass videos. And Adequate is once again streaming and doing his gaming shit again. So over there and support that so we can keep that man still doing that shit. Also, again, for those of you who are interested, go check out Majestic Comics store, majesticcomics.com, get your link there. And I think I'll put the link in the comments here. Letters and Mutants. Interested in getting the comic book, you'll find that at that link. And get them while we got them, because we have a limited supply that we got to go.
Yeah, and they're moving. They're moving pretty quickly.
They're moving, right. So get them while we got them. Also, all of our Kickstarter people who have not gotten your stuff, it's on the way. The next thing that is going out will be the posters. The posters that come with the printed book, that's going out. Then after that, once we get the books that need to be signed, they'll be signed, and then they'll be going out. And then extended version, once they come, that's going out. And then of course we're gonna do the medals. And everybody should have been fulfilled. And dope. So for my man SPJ, you and my guy Gray of Extropia.
Peace.
I am Tombstone the Dead Man. And for the greater multi-world entertainment family, we are out.